Beautiful people, I hope you're having a very wonderful morning because it's only going to get better today. Welcome to the Pinnacle Cup, the fast start to the Swiss stage of this tournament. And it's myself, X-Warrior, together with the scrumptious World Deity by my side for yet another time for some more epic action. Skade versus 100 Ping Gods up first. And how do you feel about this whole endeavor, World Deity?
Oh man, Skade is a team that I've really wanted to watch once more. I know we casted quite a few games, other tournaments and whatnot. But Skade is a team that are starting to lose their touch a bit, and 100 PG, on the other hand, they're the ones that are starting to climb, and that's what particularly makes this an interesting matchup. Skade, at some point, they were considered the gatekeepers of Tier 1. They were considered to be that door you'd have to cross for top 20. But right now, they're not looking too hot, are they?
No, absolutely not. They've at least have a fall from grace, at least for the past couple of months. Maybe for the past month, I'd say. They haven't seemed like themselves. But, there is potential. And where there is potential, there is some promise. And I'm hoping to see that from Skade coming through. I hope this past month has been a fluke because the likes of Dennis Law on that AWP, when it comes to Ships' decision-making, it's all there for Skade. They just need to push through. They need to make sure that all of their pieces are collected together to bring on the best of performances, and that's what we're hoping for here in the Pinnacle Cup. But now, 100 Ping Gods as well. They've also been in the situation where they've started to show a lot of promise. This Kazakhstani team has gotten some excellent wins recently, such as the likes of Virtus Pro, taking over maps from Spirit and Entropic. It seems like these guys are on the uprise, and they're here to stay.
Yeah, even their last matchup against Spirit, the fact that they're able to grab a map off with that much ease, the fact that they ended up winning 16-7 on something like Inferno, that is crazy stuff. So yes, they have been putting up the numbers. When you beat out teams like Virtus Pro, when you're beating out teams like K23, you're starting to make a mark. I think these are some names, these Kazakhstani names, they're definitely starting to pop up in the minds of viewers, and for good reason. And I wouldn't be surprised at all if they can replicate some of that success when it comes to a matchup against Skade. Now, what do you think about that?
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting endeavor, and especially seeing that 100 Ping Gods did come in from that playing stage, rather than Skade actually being invited to this situation. Maybe 100 Ping Gods have a feel of the competition at hand, maybe they're a bit more practice. It's not as if Skade hasn't really been practicing lately, they've been filled with games. But I feel 100 Ping Gods may be slightly more warmed up in that endeavor. And when it comes to invites, I think Skade, especially if you look at previous tournaments like the Spring Sweet Spring, the most recent Spring Sweet Spring tournament, Skade was invited to the quarterfinals and they lost that first matchup. So it just feels like these guys haven't been able to hit the road running. It seems like they need a nice leeway to start things off nicely, and I think they haven't quite had that.
Yeah, definitely. Any runway that they needed, they haven't been able to acquire it, and it's a bit strange to see that, because oftentimes when you see these teams climbing, it seems like it's just a linear trajectory. So for a team like Gambit Youngsters, about a year ago, it seemed like, okay, these guys are improving. They're in the top 20, 15, 10. This is getting scary, stuff like that. But that hasn't really happened for Skade, has it? I mean, this Bulgarian squad, they were almost projected to basically make it to top 10 with the way they were playing. They were meant to go neck and neck with Fiend, but it's not the case anymore. I feel like Fiend are performing a lot better than they are. And the difference that we once saw, maybe only being a couple rankings apart, that's simply not the case anymore.
No, absolutely isn't, and maybe the things will change. That is what we're looking for, but we'll be heading right into the veto to see how things get started off in this series, which maps will be played, and looking at them straight away. We're seeing Vertigo, the first map to be picked up, banned out from 100 Ping Gods. The same comes through from Skade as Nuke is banned. Dust through the first pick, and we'll be seeing Ancient. Well, Daddy, I believe it's your first cast on that map, so that will be exciting. Mirage and Overpass to be the bans to follow through, and as the side, drum roll, Inferno.
Yeah, we have casted one Ancient game together. The good old calling everything Ali, calling everything Cubby.
There you go. Yeah,
yes, the usual, but yeah, it's okay. Dust 2, no surprises at all that 100 PG, that's a map that they're comfortable with. That's the map that they want to play on. But 100 PG on Ancient, they're not looking too hot. They haven't really played it too many times in officials. They did play against K23. It was about I believe 10 to 11 days ago against it was against K23. I just mentioned that. And although that's a good result to go off of, I don't really see enough of a sample size to make some kind of consistent prediction. Yeah, okay, how are they going to perform? So this is something that's really exciting about Ancient on its own, is just the fact that because it's such a coin flip right now, because teams are still trying to theory craft for the most part, it will always lead into some interesting results. The decider, Inferno, that slightly favors Skade, but honestly, it's a toss-up. Any team could win it, and with 100 PG being on the rise, Skade starting to drop off a little bit, I feel like they might just meet in the middle and give us a pretty close matchup. But getting through that first map, getting through Dust 2, is absolutely important for 100 PG. They cannot give it up, because Ancient, being the coin flip that it is, it's a very risky prospect to step into without any insurance policy.
Yeah, I think I agree with that idea. The fact that these two teams will sort of be meeting in the middle in that regard when it comes to standing at least. But yeah, also all these three maps could be a close endeavor. Dust 2 may be the most one-sided map, I think, of the three when it comes to performance, but still not one that I think Skade is going to give up too easily, right? So all of them really, really close, but we'll be heading right into game to see how exactly things go forwards.
Man, I kind of wish we were seeing Ancient first. I really do want to, get right into it. But
Well, you do see the Pinnacle odds, ladies and gentlemen. Head over to pinnacleodds.com /odds to get yourselves the beautiful odds that you see on screen right now, and as well our partners over at Trustly. Go give them a look as a way to make payments. So you can even do it while going through pinnacleodds.com /odds. But looking at this whole situation, we'll be starting things off with a pistol round. Iceman hitting things first strongly against Duplicate, getting themselves some ground towards that mid side. Already gaining quite a lot of control. Default smoke to come through, but other than that, it's a default setup for the 100 pink odds side.
Yeah, Suro lining up that smoke does suggest that they're probably going to head up short. And with a flashbang being primed, they will have to run into Oxygen. Oxygen not really hitting these close-up shots. The Glocks will overpower. And this is where they start to hit the road running. They do have control of short. They've got all 5 players alive, so Skade already playing off of the back foot. Denislaw, he gets an opportunity to start striking some heads, but he's only good for 1. This is perfect for Winter. He's going to be ice cold. Takes away 2, and that should be it.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's winter or something, but things are getting quite breezy, freezy, if you will. So Winter holding true to his name and has got ice-cold veins, getting themselves that first victory. 1-0 on the board now for the Kazakhstani squad, as it's their own map pick, and they're starting things off on a good note.
The buy-up comes out from 100 PG, as you'd expect. A scout rifle in the hands of Smiley. The good old Cha-ching cannon in the hands of Bro. Now, that name does catch me off guard a little bit.
It does, bro. But now, we're seeing a Zeus kill, and I love the sound that it makes when someone dies. It's always that one movie sound cue that you listen to. It just comes out of nowhere, every sort of director tries to bring out that sound cue once in a while when someone is thrown out the window, and you get that sound. It's really interesting to see.
Oh man, that actually reminded me of something. I will get back to it after this round. Denislaw, he's immediately able to buy up the AWP. Smiley's off the server. He just joined it. Quickly presses disconnect, and that should be all she wrote. But Ships, he wants to try to equalize the numbers. Not gonna happen. Well, it does.
Well, it does, at least. At the end of things. Iceman is low in that endeavor, though. Had to get taken down by quite a lot of damage. Now, with the approach, 100 ping odds, again, leaning towards that B side. Rainmaker. He's got his sights on it. He's got a strong role to play in this whole situation. While Skade, the rest of his teammates, are on that A side of things. All together, collectively, they should be well set up to deal with this endeavor.
Yeah, and they're playing the anti-flash position as well, so it'll be incredibly hard to try to walk through this. Bro, trying to look over the smoke. He does have an angle, but are they going to flash and peek? I think Skade are being extra careful about how they play this around. They don't have the flashbang to work with either, so this anti-flash needs to be perfect. because the T's, they're starting to move in. Iceman, he wants to go for a dry peek that will catch the anti-flash off guard, but Duplicate, he's around the corner. The spray down is perfect, and he's able to pick up 3. Still alive for more, but I think Sara should be able to seal the deal. Denislaw there with an AWP.
Oh, I love the lineup there from Skade. It was beautiful. They were there expecting it. The anti-flash position, as mentioned before, they did everything that was required. Ladies and gentlemen, Trustly is the place to go when you want to experience disrupted or slow payments. Well, when you don't want to experience that, at least. No cards, no app download, no registration. Just head over to Trustly. And you could even use it for your Pinnacle odds when heading over to Pinnacle and betting against each team. So make sure you stay safe, and of course there are conditions that may apply. Denislaw making things work. Headshot does connect onto Smiley, and that means that they open things up with a bang, heading towards that a long side, while also having players snuck into lower tunnels. Winter looking to cause some damage.
Yeah, Denislaw's been so good on that AWP, getting the early frag with Sorrow. He's gotten the numbers a bit closer. Oxygen playing the unorthodox angle makes it a lot harder for them to equalize ships. Puts Winter in the grave. That just leaves a man with the scout rifle. The man with the name that is more fitting for a Snapchat account. A Desert Eagle in his hands. I think he just wants to do as much damage as possible on the way out. But for the most part, Skade have been able to bring it back immediately. And Denislaw is such a contributor on that AWP. For both rounds that he's had it, he went for the early aggression. He went for the peek down middle, and he was able to secure it both times. So having that kind of impact player on your team, that can make it a lot easier for you to navigate through the rest of the game. And 100PG, you can already tell that they're feeling the pressure at trying to battle anything out on mid. You'll always have that worry in the back of your head that perhaps Denislaw is peeking right around the corner. Maybe he's got that big green goblin staring at you. Or
if you're me in Counter-Strike in MM, then you're just going to not peek any other corner and just walk in and die.
Called the good old... I mean, it's called suicide for a reason when you try to rush down it.
Oh, yeah. And I've done it multiple times. I never learn from my mistakes. That's actually very surprising.
Oh, yeah, Ships. He's happy to take away the life of Bro. But I'm a bit surprised he actually goes for that, because I would anticipate him to wait out for the timer because it was so close. Regardless, scoreline, now it's been tied up. And 100PG, they're starting to fall back a little bit. Not too much money to go around with them, $2,000 average. And without even a flashbang, this should mostly be a mowdown. It's just Smiley on the Desert Eagle because he did have a little bit more money to work with. Tries to do the forbidden peek down middle with a Deagle against an AWP. Doesn't really need to do too much, though, because his teammates, they're being wiped off the server.
Yeah, Shits. He did a good job there. Although he has to fall in the end, that could be an MP9 to be picked up from the T side of 100 Ping Gods. But I think Smiley will get challenged all the way. Skade is starting to feel a little bit comfortable. Smiley does get taken out by Denislaw from that distance. 9 out of 10 times that AWP will win. Will come out victorious. And it's the Bulgarians now to come up on top. 3-2 on the scoreline. I'm not really surprised that the Pinnacle odds are in favor of Skade. 1.5 to 2.4. Well, 1.6, really. But it's not by great margin, are they?
Yeah, it's... the fact is that Skade, on paper, they're still the better team. 100PG, if they win this, this would have to be an underdog victory. And the fact that they've been doing incredibly well against other teams, of course, it does help their case a little bit more. You know, you could say that the rankings haven't really had a time to shift too much and reflect what they're capable of, but hold on. Watch this. Denislaw, he goes for a ballsy peek with a boost, and Bro will be taken out of the server. Now, 4 players remaining on the terrorist side. What kind of adjustment do they go for? Iceman, he wants to get his hands dirty as he's immediately going to start walking down middle, but now he'll be greeted by Denislaw.
Well, they do backtrack from it. In the meantime, though... Oh, no, they're closing in. Iceman switched his things up completely. Press that reverse button. Don't know where it exists on his keyboard, but... well, there you go. Jaws in. Skirt out of mid. Now, okay... mid now taken over from 100 Ping Gods. May look like they want to ease up towards it. Maybe the B side to be expected. Skade, they're polarized across the map, which does give some room for the Kazakhstani squad to move across. And it's up to them to make the decision. I think they may have elected this catwalk side.
Now, Skade aren't particularly set up for this because Ships is so far around the corner that he won't be able to help Duplicate just in time if they push right on through. Duplicate tries to respond with a Molotov, but Iceman has come around. He's peeking in from CT, and that just leaves Oxygen, or rather Ships, who wants to desperately try to hold on to this bomb site, playing for the wider angle. Winter wants to spot ahead, and he does, leaving 2 players now on the CT side for the retake.
Now a 2v3 may be a difficult endeavor, and especially when Oxygen falls. No pick going their way. It's not going to really fall into place for the Bulgarian side. Skade going to have to back out of it. Rainwaker eager to save that beautiful M4. But I think they may be on close pursuit.
Yeah, even saving this M4 might be a fickle affair because Sorrow, he's playing from tunnels. Maybe a second player is about to join him soon, so not really sure about his chances here, but Sorrow's so low on HP that he should be easily double tapped with the M4. I think I spoke too soon because Rainwaker, goodbye.
No, that was clean from Sorrow. Just insta swing out headshot. Beautifully done. And that's even the equalizer. As soon as 100 Ping Gods get themselves a buy on the board, things just are brought to equilibrium.
That does give them a little bit of leeway. Start playing things off. Tennislaw. I like how he's approaching it differently this time around. He's not directly peeking down middle. Instead, he's just watching one of the corners to make sure if somebody tries to aggress. Oh, this is perfect. Denislaw, he knows that the missed shot is an opportunity that he can capitalize on. He's also waiting for the players to walk out of lower tunnels. The flashbang is perfect, but Denislaw, he gets a chance to back off. Some borrowed time to work with, but he barely spots a foot, and that should be all she wrote.
It is indeed 4 versus 4 already. It is a 1-for-1 trade, but in the process, I think 100 Ping Gods gained a lot more out of it rather than Skade. That's mid control now being given over to the T's, and they may make this map as they please. They can roam through it as if it's their own hometown. That's an off-angle holding there from Oxygen as well. You slowly will realize that Skade may be eager to push through tunnels and miss Molotov as well in the meantime. That's not really great. But they may want to aggress through it to get that extra information. In the time being, though, Oxygen in that corner, he's holding off this onslaught. And it might be a vital position for him to keep on holding.
Oh, I think Winter realizes now. He might have spotted the barrel, and they're going to peek right out. Winter with a no-scope. He's already starting things off with style and Duplicate. He's not getting any style points for that death because Winter's added another to the tally. Ships and Rainwaker now desperate for that retake, but they want to back off. They've got an AWP and an M4. That's something they can carry on over to the next round.
It is indeed. And it will have to be at this point. 100 Ping Gods. Not too bad, not too shabby. Getting the bomb down as well. And they can just hold down their ground. Have a cup of coffee, because I think they've got some time in the back to spare. Skade isn't going anywhere. They're just hiding out in the B site in Rainwaker. Well, hopefully this time for him, he'll be saving that M4 rather than having someone coming right after him.
You mentioned having a fair bit of time, and that's one of the dynamics I like about Dust 2. Although it gives you time to save, the fact that you can peek through, hold that thought. I think Rainwaker might just be getting a bit of a present, and he will take it. 2 quick kills for him. Don't really mean too much, but that's a couple guns out of the hands of the T's, and they're happy about it. Well,
you hear it, you can see it on your screens. Online banking payments is the bomb. Pay with Trustly. You can even try making payments with Trustly at pinnacle.com/odds, where you'll find the latest in playing offers with Skade versus 100 Ping Gods here. And always remember that the sport should be fun, so only play what you can afford. So keep yourself teamed, and, well, full terms and conditions do apply.
Keep in mind as well that Pinnacle right now, they're running a promotion where if you bet 10 euros, you can get 10 euros back. You know, you can double up your bets. But it only applies if you're a new customer and if you sign up using code CUP21. So do check that out. But yeah, the thing I was talking about earlier, X-Warrior, is that because you can peek through the B doors, you can see which direction somebody's saving in if they go to B. You can also do the same thing on mid. So a lot of information makes saving harder and it becomes more difficult to get through without a scratch. And when I talk about that, Rainwaker, he's going to be receiving a scratch and a half. Denislaw, he's got a lot to deal with.
He does, but it's all over. There's nothing else he could do. He's out of the server. Completely annihilated, destroyed. 4 versus 5 into it right now, and 100 Pink Gods have the upper hand. It's the B bomb site as well to make things matters worse for Skade. I think 100 Pink Gods have found their pace.
You can see why they picked Dust 2. They do feel quite comfortable with it, and unless Denislaw is able to get that early frag, I think Skade are heavily struggling.
Winter, well, he's going to try and hold his line here. And I think it'll be easy pickings as well. The AWP off their hands. It's all up to Rainwake again. Oh, this man, he's very used to saving by now.
Yeah, it seems like he's always holding on to that M4.
But the odds getting ever closer in this series, right? From one moment to the next, you would have expected that it would still be in Simper Endeavor, but we're still seeing them switch a bit. Skade still slightly favored in the whole grand scheme of things, but no, the fact that 100 Pink Gods have stapled themselves ahead here is a really important prospect for them in this series as a whole.
Denislaw, this time around, his shenanigans aren't on mid. Instead, he gets a couple quick frags on long. And 100 PG now, suddenly they're feeling the pressure. Rainwaker, he almost gets caught with his pants down, switches over to the M4, but no capitalization comes in from Smiley. Ships, quick frag on mid, smoke goes out. Smiley doesn't get a chance to refrag at all. Wants to peek over the smoke, but he's been spotted out by Ships. Quick frag.
Clever movement from Smiley. Getting himself onto that ledge there, spotting over, looking over his opponent. And the smoke could not hide away his head. It's just too big. Rainmaker, he looks to be challenged right now. But the good thing for Skade is that they've got 2 players already onto this area. 100 Pink Gods, you need to make this work or otherwise you'll be in big trouble. It's a crossfire setup now from the Skade side, and they will be slowly closing that gap.
All across the board, that round was incredibly clean from Skade, and that's due in part because Denislaw had such a strong presence on mid. They didn't anticipate the AWP to be overcommitted over towards the long side. But now, they've got 2 AWPs, Ships. He'll be holding on to that as well. I say that, but you know what? The caster's curse can be a bit too strong at times. Taking that off out of the server. Sorrow, he doesn't get to contribute either. It's Oxygen to take away his head.
You know what, World Eddie? There's a reason why every single time there's an AWP player peeking out through mid from spawn. There's always that one play. It always happens on Dust 2, right? It barely ever works, but when it does, it affects the round massively. Iceman looking to push through, double that up, and 100 Pink Gods. They haven't dropped a single play in their Endeavor. Scratch that, they haven't taken any damage. Apart from Winter, getting a kill onto Duplicate there does scathe away with 13 points of health, but it's Rainwaker left all by himself again. He's getting too familiar with the situation.
It's very surprising that Sorrow's Lost Duel is the only one that they actually end up dropping. Other than that, all across the boards, it's frags left and right. 100 PG. They're inching closer and closer to that halftime victory. And you see this way too often from Skade. You know, having a player left alone on a bomb site. And there are 2 components to this. If you have an extra passive player who's always committed to a bomb site and they can't contribute to duels, that can be good for flanks. That can often prevent some kind of bomb site, some kind of last-minute fake, last-minute bomb site push. But at the same time, then you have fewer numbers on the rotation. You won't have as many people helping you out. So, double-edged sword, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Have you got those wing flaps on your monitor like 100 Pink Gods seem to have?
No, man. My gameplay has already flown out of the window. I don't need any assistance.
Seems like I don't know if they really help with focus, to be honest. But you know what I like to see? Ships on that Mag 7. And once you get a kill, you darn well know that it's going to turn into a Swag 7. A-Long control given over. Smiley has to leave his life behind as Denethor is able to run right past him with that AWP shot across the map. Winter trying to capitalize on that again, but I don't think he'll be given that opportunity. Denislaw now on that A-Long side, looking to see if they will peek through. But 100 Ping Gods, they're making sure they buy time here. They want to see if they can get a pick before they push on through, because having the full stack of 5 players remaining on the Skade side is a difficult situation to deal with.
I like how they're trying to bait out Denislaw into overcommitting with the peak, and he does! Winter, he's got in the entry frag now, 4-on-4. They can always opt to move straight onto the A bomb side, and I think they will because they've already landed a smoke. If they do go there, they might need an additional smoke because Duplicate can still spot through, but the AWP for the hard clear is still available, so that is a prospect that they can still work with Duplicate. He's going to have a lot on his plate.
I love the idea of delaying the smoke, but when you miss the second one, that's a different situation. Duplicate able to capitalize on it, and that's going to be a free kill. HG going to throw it over to Iceman and Skade. They've got control of this now. Sorrow, do they know where he is? Oxygen has got an idea of that location, and he is able to grab out a headshot, pushing on forwards. The smokes will dissipate. Duplicate able to grab out one more, but Winter is all that remains. But you know what? It's only his remains, because now he is dead, and it is Skade to get themselves another round on the board.
That round might have slipped out of their hands based off of one botched smoke. And you can see the odds shifting back in the favor of Skade as the numbers start to turn up, as the smokes start to slip out of hands. There is something I wanted to mention. I love how Skade and 100PG, they're not just playing Counter-Strike, they're also having this little battle down mid constantly. Denislaw, he's opened the round up by taking Iceman out of the equation. Now, left disbalanced, 100PG want to desperately try to get the numbers back as they move up short. Yeah, man, the little communication they're having down mid, just this little back and forth, constantly having the nads to go for this. I'm a bit surprised that both teams are opting for it, but you know what? Either side has found success. Denislaw, of course, he might be a little bit more favored, but we've seen a couple kills come out from the T side as well and a fair bit of damage, so you can see why they're going for this.
Definitely can, but slowly. They're still considering this catwalk side, but it may be more of a bait. Sorrow here, he's got prime control over mid, and he can catch any rotations off guard. You can see the recooperation with him as well. Duplicate, he's heard the scope, and that audio has been given away. And you can see Skade turning their attention towards it from the B site as well. But the fact that Bro is also challenging from that location, it's going to be a difficult endeavor. They don't check it, they don't even smoke it. So, just an easy pick there from Duplicate, a big throw. It was a risky play, and it doesn't work out in their favor. Smiley, able to grab one, but they may want to change their location. The A-Long side was already challenged, and Denislaw, he's an unchallenged cookie. Smiley will eventually be able to kill him off, but I think the damage has already been done. The A site is what they're going for, and Oxygen is all by himself.
Yeah, but can he hold down the line? He does find the first frag, and it's one tap to end the second. Smiley, ooh, that's gotta hurt.
I mean, it would, especially considering that you've already taken out most of the A-Long players, and there's one player that you can't really account for. I think 100 Ping Gods, at least playing from a deficit, played that really well and knowing how to read around the map. But the fact that Oxygen just was able to swing past them and get 2 kills like that, there was nothing that 100 Ping Gods could really do about it.
Absolutely. Now, they're actually trying to bait out Denislaw over on mid. They're toying with him a little bit. You know that this is their moment. They've got a couple P2. They've got a P250 and a Deagle in the back pocket, so you can see why they're going for this. This little game of whack-a-mole, though, it might just come to a closer because Bro was anticipating a flashbang from a teammate. Denislaw takes quite a bit of damage, but now I think it's been communicated. They want to back off. Ships. He doesn't fare too well in the midst of the battle, and instead will have his head ripped apart by a Desert Eagle. That .50 cal. Not the best of friends.
Yeah, and I think they won't be creating too much friendly endeavors throughout the rest of this round, at least. I'd love to see that Iceman Deagle work out. further. 1 kill already in the bag. Transferring, getting another 2. Maybe 1 even. That's an AK-47, actually. Unfound confidence. Incendiary to block his path. There's a "you shall not pass" situation. But other than that, Skade, they've got a blockade going on across the map. Every single area pretty much tested out. And now approach from short. They're going to go for a small approach. They're going to go for a quick one as well. Dennis Law getting one as a couple do trickle forwards, crossing against the smoke, but Oxygen will be able to deal with a final player. Skade, just like that, close out the round.
It's quite surprising that Skade aren't a lot farther ahead, considering how competent their AWP player has been. Dennis Law, even with a close scoreline like 7-6, he's going 17-8. So with a KDR higher than 2, when your op is performing so well on the CT side, I would be expecting a better scoreline. Especially considering that Bro has basically not been part of the equation. I believe he's still on 0 kills. So 100 PG, they've done a pretty good job at keeping it in check, all things considered. You know, Dennis Law popping off, a player being out of commission. But I think they do have the chance to sweeten the deal a little bit more as they line up towards B.
I think this is one of the first times we see them all together going for a contact play throughout it. Not really scared about the smokes. Made within the corners. Every angle trying to push on through. Flash will participate them into the push, but Rainmaker, this position has gone unchecked. Doesn't wait for the trigger discipline. Continue to spray down with that mouse 1 trigger, and all of a sudden, 100 ping goals in a really difficult position. Recooperating now together. Lovely flash from Rainmaker, but it shits to find the headshot, and all of a sudden, 100 ping goals, there's not much they can do about it. Smiley turning 180 degrees, but it's not going to be good enough. Skade, 8-6, solidifying they'll be ahead at halftime.
What a good flashbang there at the end. I know you mentioned it, but the presence of mind from Ships to know that a teammate's flash is coming, the communication being flawless, that even in the midst of a spray down, he stops, looks away, waits for them to get flashed, and there's just so much trust between these teammates, and I hope we can catch that on the replay, but regardless, what a spray down by Rainwaker. Did quite a bit of damage, and that might have just secured it. You see that right there, Ships? Ooh. He looks away for just a second to avoid that flashbang. He stops in the middle of his spray, and he makes it work. Now, Skade, they're sending Ships up on mid-duty. Perhaps pick up an early frag.
Ships holding things down on mid. He'll soon be challenged though, and he doesn't really have that enforcement if it does come to that aggression. I think the aggression is unfounded as 100 ping gods really don't have too much to pay with it. Flash only to allow them to cross forwards, not really going to within Ships' line of crossfire at least.
Line of fire, yes.
Line of fire, there you go. Dennis Law again, similar situation. Double upset it from Skade, and it's a good one to have here on Dust 2. With a train out of the equation, it's definitely the AWP map at play.
Oh, there are 3 horsemen coming his way. Oxygen, he's not even good for 1 here, but he gets TK'd. So a 1-for-1 trade somehow in the midst of things. Dennis Law comes around the corner. His AWP is perfect, and Duplicate will be adding 1 more to the tally. That round, just like that. With such pace, with such speed. Should be over very soon. I love how they're still being that careful, but it is the last round. They wanted to make sure that they cash in all their chips, and they're going to end it with a scoreline of 9-6.
Man, it feels like smooth sailing from Skade for the past couple of rounds, and it is reflected among the odds of the Pinnacle Cup. You can head over to pinnacle.com/odds to check them out. But yeah, no, they've shown promise. Now being ahead 9-6, it's a really good scoreline for them to be in.
Yeah, if we're on the subject of smooth sailing, if you want your payments to be smooth sailing and what you want speed to be the name of the games, don't let your playing experience be disrupted by slow payments. And go ahead and choose Trustly, and you can even make a payment on Pinnacle with that. So do go ahead and check them out. Terms and conditions apply.
Smoke out first as the pistol round will coming away here from the Skade side. Winter, he's got a strong job to do. He's all by himself, but quickly on the trigger there towards the tunnels. Iceman there to help out. Both icy players already getting themselves some headshots, and Skade, there's nothing much they can do about it. Trying from a distance, scrambling to find a kill, but it's not permitted. Every single player from the 100 Ping God side are on site, and they're able to deal with this scenario.
That was a pretty quick mowdown, all things considered. The pistols just somehow reigned supreme. And I believe it was 100 PG on the first pistol round as well that ended up taking it. So this is a good sign for them. Unfortunately, the conversion wasn't amazing. It's not like they got 3 rounds off of it, and I'd be surprised if they can do that in this side of things either. Denislav once again on that trusty scoped rifle, although it will be lacking a bit of punch to it because it is the cheaper version. Iceman wants to maybe intercept this push down middle, but for the most part it should be a throwaway round. Unless Skade can maybe get work around that scout rifle from Denislav, but they only have 1 deagle, so to have some kind of 1-2 punch going on, I think they're going to need a lot more pistols. Ex-Warrior, it's a bit surprising to me when teams have this half commitment on the scout rifle, because it's very unlikely that you'll capitalize off of it unless you have additional deagles or P250s to supplement it. So, not sure what the thought process is behind it, but let's see if this can work out for them. The run boost now being prepped. 2 players on the A bomb site. A third can always rotate.
Run boost does commence though, Sorrow able to grab out the first headshot through the air. The bomb has been dropped, that is brutal! Oh dear! And they do see that situation fall across the horizon. Oh no! Well, that's the morale dropped that round, and they shortly fall as well. 100 Ping Gods, they managed to get that clean round underway.
It's such a treat to see that 100 PG, even with a player not being able to have much of an impact, they're still making it work. The scoreline is incredibly close. But that's something that's a bit worrying for Skade as well. If you're playing against a team that right now is basically playing 4v5, with the exception of course, utility, you're not seeing much firepower come out of him. At any time, if he suddenly activates, you know it's over. But it's got to happen before that 16. Now, Skade, they're looking a bit unsure about what they're going to do because they had a flashbang primed and then they choose to opt out of it. 100 PG, they have a fair bit of utility to hold back anything. Sorrow having a Molotov and smokes across the board with the exception of Bro.
With a fairly aggressive position there from Winter. I believe he did hear a footstep coming through from the upper tunnels to lower. Which does give them information that something is being played around that scene. And without mid-dedication, Gods really can't figure out this situation, knowing that they've now translated it towards the catwalk side. Bro lining up a flash, but from the other side of the map, it may not be good enough. HG Grenade taking a lot of chunk out of ships as they do move on forwards. Look for the gap through the smoke. Not going to be founded, though. Other than that, 100 Ping Gods, they've left the 2 players towards the B side. The rotations may not be quick enough. Skade, they're looking to go for this any second now. With the smoke coming through, they're going to start pushing in. Flashes as well, coming into the A site. Bro lines up the flash. Oxygen does kill them, though, in the process. He was so focused on that flash that he didn't have the time to pull out his rifle. Oxygen, second kill going his way, and that's going to be the bomb being planted. Spray down through the smoke, but I think the deed has been done. It's the A site taken over by the Bulgarians.
Skade, as soon as they've got their hands on those AKs, they've made it work, and 100 PG now they're starting to feel some of the impact that is being lost on their side. They want to hold on to these weapons. M4 and a couple of FAMASs, they can go a long way. So you can see the thought process behind it. Skade, they're not too happy about going for anything either. They don't want to try to hunt because that does risk them losing their own weapons, and it's not like they have a lot of bank built up. This is their opportunity. Start stuffing the cash register with some money. In the meantime, why don't we quickly look over at the Pinnacle odds? Skade now looking a lot more heavily favored. I think these are the worst odds we've seen for 100 PG so far.
Yeah, maybe, because I think Skade being ahead on their opponents' map pick is something that they need to fear, especially seeing that they've got more experience when it comes to Ancient as well. So maybe a 2-0 would be on the line, which is where I sort of value these odds.
Ancient. It's going to be a task and a half for them to get through. But
Flash
Dustin's
out
still
towards
not
the B
over
side.
yet.
Oh, Winter, 2 kills going his way. Smoke out as well. Bomb drop, that's the information they need. And the smoke is deep. They can cover it. Sorrow sticks around though. That's a smart play because Ships moves out. Buttocks first, and Sorrow's able to spot it. Spray down. Rainwaker does chuck down Winter to 11 points of health, but 100 ping gods, they've recuperated smoke to allow them to get the bomb down. Rainwaker does spray down. Bro, he's out. Where 2v4 still is difficult and Dev, and the bomb hasn't been collected. What do?
Yeah, they know exactly what's going on. 2 players now watching that bomb like hawks. And they should be the pincer as well from Skade because they have a third player moving in with the M4 coming up catwalk. Rainwaker, he's having such a hard time trying to navigate around this. And Smiley, because he's got that AWP, he can always look around the box, get that free frag, and that should be all she wrote. Dennis Law now, I think he's done for.
He's only got 1 smoke left, and he might as well give it a go, you know? The good thing about Skade is that they've got money to buy up next round with, so I guess they don't really mind in that endeavor. But I love how quickly 100 ping gods reacted to seeing the bomb there.
Just that immediate pincer. But in the meantime, maybe you should go ahead and check out Trustly, which can make sure that your playing experience is not disrupted by anything such as slow payments. So to make your payments flow quickly, you can go ahead and check them out. No cards, no app download, and no registration. And even if you're checking out Pinnacle at pinnacle.com/odds, you can make a deposit there using Trustly. So you know what? 2 birds, 1 stone. Why don't you check that out?
Yeah, you might even want to head over to Pinnacle because they've got a 10 euro deposit when you get, well, when you bet 10 euros, you also get 10 euros in return, which is a really cool thing. So you might have, might as well take advantage of that in the process, right? So, yeah.
Yeah, it is a very cool promotion, but make sure that you only bet what you can afford and be safe about it. Terms and conditions apply. And Iceman will be applying a lot of pressure over at mid, but scratch that fall because Smiley, he's immediately responded, and Skade, they're down a man before it started.
Well, now Skade may be wondering, what on earth did we do? That's our backline completely destroyed, quashed. Dennis Law out of it. Smiley's got a big D to deal with. Quickly pushing through. Oxygen now needs to move onwards. Molly not quite getting into that corner. Smiley throws down the smoke quickly to allow him to trickle out. Instead, holds his ground. The Skade, they repositioned. They need that pick desperately though, and they do go in straight forwards. They don't hold back at all. Sorrow gets think, but he doesn't even care. Through the box, he's still got plenty of health remaining. All of it, actually. Molly, between themselves, they do not care. Pushing forwards as well. Bro, making it happen, but Ships and Rainwaker, they've been rejuvenated. In that process, though, Ships is all by himself, and he's got to deal with 3 players. The bomb isn't even next to him.
Oh, that smoke fading, that makes it so much harder. Iceman, he's given up his position, but Ships, what can he even do at this point? It's just a sandwich, and that should be it. Smiley picks him away and ends the round the way he started it, with an AWP kill.
And that's the equalizer as well for 100 ping gods. Skade, you can see they're under pressure. They've got full-on focus mode right now. They know that they can't hold back. They know they've been in a slump, and they know they need to breach their opponents.
Yeah, lots of flush faces, biting lips, etc. right now. It's a lot of nerves on them. And 100 PG, they're going to apply the pressure even more. Pushing up mid. 1 kill apiece for Sorrow, Iceman, and Smiley. Mostly a cleanup, but that's a free Desert Eagle for Iceman. He's going to put that $700 in his pocket and feel very happy about it. Yep, there is another freebie coming his way. Winter just adds 1 more to the tally.
It's all about HLTV stats, right? And again, I mean, 100 ping gods, they sort of share that endeavor. But we were talking about earlier that things favored Skade quite substantially, but I think it's sort of changed now. Things are very neck and neck. 1.8 to 1.9. It's anyone's game, this series, honestly. And Skade, they're not out of Dust 2 yet, which is the surprising part.
Apologies for some of the background noise. Ducks can be very feisty at times. I'm sure you heard that, X-Warrior.
Yeah, no, the
Not sure
duck has gone on a rampage.
Yeah, similar to how 100PG have once they've switched sides. Now they're looking a lot better. Skade. They're feeling very contested. But this is a very different pace of round from what we've grown accustomed to. They're going to be playing it a lot slower. And be... actually taking the bomb all the way over to the B bomb site. A smoke going out short. They want to make sure that they can keep as many of the 100PG players on their side as possible while the real mess starts cooking up on B.
Got all the players set up here, but it's all the distraction towards the catwalk side. Sorrow will spot up Oxygen's buttocks. Oh, falls back towards the site. The timing isn't that great, but it's good enough. Headshot connected. Smiley has to deal with them onto the B-bomb site. They've got plenty of players here, so it shouldn't be too much of a trouble. Smoke to keep them at bay. Looking to reposition. Ships wins out on a trade towards the catwalk, which is why they try and move against it. But maybe they turn their attention towards mid. Smiley, he's waiting for it. Spray down coming through, but no. He wanted to cross towards scaffolding. He wanted to move against that wall, but it doesn't work out in his favor. Winter, already on the rotation, gets himself the backstab. Same for Iceman as well. They've been completely slaughtered down to the ground. Skade, unexpected of all these rotations, and it's 100p God to show their prowess.
I love the adjustment there to catch the back of the bomb carrier like that. Amazing stuff. Just that bomb being dropped suddenly switches up everything for 100PG. All of a sudden, the resources have to be redistributed to account for the fact that now the bomb is no longer in their control, and they get caught off guard by that. 100PG showing us exactly why Just 2 might have been their map pick. Once they're on that CT side, they look a lot more comfortable. Ships is the only man on the T side squad right now with an AK-47, and everybody else, they're sticking to Deagles. Can they land a punch or two in this instance? We're going to have to find out, because although Deagles can be very powerful, although those second round buys have historically been incredibly good nowadays, unfortunately we haven't seen too many of them in this game. We haven't really been greeted by any upsets as far as rounds go in this series so far.
Usually it's been staple rounds throughout it. Ships, though, the only player with the AK-47, making it work. And doesn't take any damage throughout the process either. I think 100 Goals may have the idea. They've given away the A-long side. Skade have snuck themselves into a few corners in that area. Looks like 100 Goals may look to challenge Molly out. They're going to take the wide angle, looking to peek through as the Deagles actually work out in their favor. Shoro trying to hold his line, but he's basically one Deagle shot away. And in a matter of seconds, Skade pull this round in their favor.
How is it possible? I just said that we haven't found too much success here. But, yeah. I feel like these words have too much power.
Oh, they do. It's the caster's curse, I'm telling you. Or maybe the caster's blessing if you're a Bulgarian or a Skade fan, or even just a Skade player.
Yeah, perhaps. But I want to see if 100PG, they switch up their pace. Denislaw, he peeks around the smoke that they've landed for themselves.
Ooh.
Almost had an angle there, didn't he?
It seemed like 100 Pink Gods knew that their smoke was slightly deep. And for that reason, they held back, expecting that a peek would commence from Skade, and they flash it for them to, as well, in time, try and get the cross on him. Didn't quite work out, as eventually Denislaw did back out of it, but I like the idea of it. Bait him in that position, know exactly where he'd hold it out and try and pre-fire it, but no, Denislaw was quick on his feet to move out from that angle.
Yeah, but the flashbang also has now communicated the information that somebody might have crossed over, and that's not good if somebody has actually crossed over, so with them backing off, they will probably be checking the angle twice anyway, so I don't think it matters too much. But now Skade, they're prepping to go up catwalk. 100PG have to hold off against this with just one player on their side.
You'd expect the default smokes to come underway, and they do. Iceman has to move back from it. No, he actually moves up towards sandbags. Will aggress forwards as well, looking to catch Rainmaker off guard, but no, unsuccessful in that endeavor. Bro recuperates onto the ramp side. Skade taking their time to push forwards, inching little by little, but the flash is grand. Iceman and Sorrow, they recuperate together. Lovely stuff, and 100 Pink Gods. The moment you thought that the onslaught was impending, they managed to turn things in their favor. Duplicate, Denislaw, they're all chiming in with kills. Denislaw barely surviving, but he's able to grab out another. Long distance from Smiley, but he doesn't grab out that kill. That is brutal, and he will pay for it. Skade, they equalize.
Denislaw and Duplicate, they wreaked havoc on 100 PG, and now you can see that being reflected in their economy somewhat as well, because there are 3 players that shouldn't be able to buy up entirely. I actually do want to look at the replay of that, because that was very chaotic. Look at that. Denislaw weaving in and out of battle just like that. And I think that missed shot by Smiley might have just been the reason that 100 PG can't come back from it. Denislaw once again wanted to peek over the Molotov. Doesn't quite catch the shot, grazes the shoulder maybe, but that's just a hair shaved off of the body of the opposing player. No damage being received. 100 PG, they want a fair bit of info. They're sending a player up tunnels, and look at that. Skade, they are anticipating it. They've got a player waiting. The AWP soon will be joining it as well, but I don't think Rainwaker really favors this duel here. That's a free AK if he ends up falling.
Maybe indeed, Rainwaker.
Uh-oh.
Just to make it work. Winter, ooh, you were talking about a free AK, and there it is. Bingo. You'll soon see a player move forwards to that location, maybe to take it. I assume Sorrow will be that man. But I think Bro is in a more difficult situation. Duplicate, not really being challenged too much. He's able to put a bullet right through his eyes. And Sorrow with just a mere P250 will have to deal with a full stack of AK-47s and AWP to back things up as well. Denislaw making quick work of it, but I think the A site has already been taken over. Winter looking to do some extra damage. Same could be said about Iceman. No way we see 2 Deagle upsets in a row. This would be insane. I think Iceman is still being a nuisance. The bombers are only just gone down and they know exactly where the positions are. Denislaw gives them some breathing space until Winter recuperates, but I think the deed is over. Winter, without a molly damage, has to backtrack and save that AWP.
I think he had the idea to push through the Molotov, but he accidentally bumped into the cubby, and then he knows that there's no way he gets away from that unscathed. Wonderful stuff. Skades, time and time again, they're able to come out on top. A very back and forth game, and Pavlos, you think we're going to be starting it off with an overtime?
I wouldn't be surprised. But I'm seeing resurgence and confidence coming through from the Skade side. Obviously, 100 ping goals, they're not backing away from this whatsoever. They know that this is their own map. So, an overtime, yeah, it could be in the cards.
Yeah.
But I still feel that Skade may be able to win out.
The problem over here is that it's a slippery slope for 100 PG, because they're the ones that need to watch out for their economy. And if they end up losing another round, you know that it's starting to trickle on over to that GG mark. Ships, not an amazing flashbang now, is it? But you know what? He's got a second one to back it up, so that's just $200 being lost. I don't think that should affect the round too much, but some utility damage will mean that 2 of the players on either side, they're a lot easier to kill, but Skade, they want to move up B.
Iceman needs to be careful here. Denislaw has got his sights on him, but no! Maybe he needs to be careful. Uno reverse card drawn out. Winter throws down the smoke to delay the push. And I think it may have 100 ping gods they've dealt with this Rainwaker, making that molly work actually. Ships on the rotation duty and he's able to deliver. Smiley looking to regain control of this angle, and he may be able to do so. Scopes in, it's a quick shot to come underway. Bro in the process has found the backstab, and Skade, they're in trouble. Already there's a recuperation towards the B site. They need to make a decision, but they've at least got 1 minute remaining.
Are they really going to go all the way around? The audio cue must be given up to Bro if they come up too close, and he should be expecting it, but so should they, because they know that there was a backstab there. How long are they going to anticipate this? Haven't really held the shift key down just yet, and Bro, now anticipating it, comes around the corner, but Rainwaker will pre-fire it. What a way to do it, and now they're back in the driving seat, heading on over to Long. They've got a flashbang to work with as well. Smiley comes around the corner. He's been traded out. 25 seconds. Duplicate, you need to pull your gun out, buddy. Tries to go around with the knife. He's got the AK, and he lands the shot. Winter will be put in the grave, and Skade somehow turn up ahead from a 2vx situation.
Man, they shouldn't have won that. Skade, they were pincered in essentially, but they were able to scramble their way out. Duplicate, he even peeked out with a knife, but he was able to strafe away into safety and relocate with the AK-47. Oh, that shouldn't have worked out. And I think that may give them the space to close out this map. Denislaw connects with another shot into mid. Winter out of the equation. He's donezo. HE grenades blown out to the wall with the B site. Duplicate chimes in with that AK. Looking to make movement towards Catwalk. But oh no! They've gotten the B site already. Duplicate will be challenged, but I think it's already over. They've taken this B site. They've got 4 players remaining. Although a couple of rifles may be given over 200 ping gods, I don't think it will be good enough. Skade, they're on the verge of getting themselves to that 15th mark.
Man, 100 PG didn't even have a chance to cross down middle. Everybody just intercepted. It's as if they've taken a page out of the playbook of the Counter-Strike counterpart and put a massive ice wall down mid. No chances at all. And Skade, they've put themselves far ahead. With so little money across the board for 100 PG, they still might have a couple punches in them, but oh, this is tricky, Pavlos. I'm not sure what 100 PG need to do from here because that looked way too convincing.
It did. Although the start looked shaky, they peeked onto the tunnel side, which was the reason why Skade sort of may have had a chance. I'm talking about a couple of rounds ago, and obviously the Pinnacle Cup odds will clearly favourite Skade in this endeavour, being ahead in their opponents' map pick. On map point as well. It's not 100% clean from Skade, but it's good enough to get them this win. But a buy round from 100 ping god still has a chance to keep them in the game.
Yeah, Denislaw, once again, he is anticipating it. Iceman doesn't get a chance to cross down middle, and that's been one of the sticking points for 100 PG. Time and time again, every time they try to challenge a little bit more on mid, they get shut down. There's a mousetrap in the hands of Denislaw that will always catch them, and Denislaw missing that shot does mean that they've given up a massive opportunity.
I love the double AWP setup on the T side as well. That is something you don't really see very often.
Yeah, but they're making it work. They're very happy about it, and I want to see what kind of action Duplicate gets here because they're about to peek right out. Don't think
he's
they'll be
expecting the angle. It's one of those angles you sort of would expect an AWP to hold, but even though there's 2 AWPs at play, they're all up and aggressive ships. He loves going for these situations. They've snuck themselves onto the B site, waiting for the bomb to make its way towards it. Molly, ships is taken down though. Winter exchanging fire, but I think Skade come up ahead. 33 seconds remaining and the smoke will be set again.
Oxygen
4 versus 5.
If he takes away Sorrow, this should be it. Now they have an additional threat to worry about looming around the corner. Smiley, he wants to peek over the door, but Denislaw's too fast. He ends up getting him regardless. And now Bro struggling to get back into the battle, and in a snap, Skade, they've come up ahead.
And that is map number 1, gone into the favor of Skade, but it's Ancient to come up next, ladies and gentlemen, to see how this endeavor ensues. Make sure you stick around, because we will be back right after a very short break. Once again, in Pinnacle, 100 ping gods versus Skade here in the second map here. Bet 10, get 10. Sign up with the code CUP21 at pinnacle.com/welcome to find out more. But other than that, ladies and gentlemen, Skade have gotten themselves that first victory in the bag, as 100 ping gods look to put a lot of pressure towards mid.
Yeah, but they're anticipating mid-pressure because of the early smoke being thrown out, but it's actually Skade heading on straight over to the to the A bomb site with just one player remaining in B. Winter, he's been spotted out. Gets a quick frag, but it's a one-for-one trade. Duplicate straight onto the bomb site now on the backstab. Simply not successful.
With the bomb now going down, Skade may have some leeway to work with, but Rainwaker now, he's all by himself. How does it deal with 4? Let's have a look. Clean first shot, make that 2! That's destructive! Rainwaker, can you bring out 2 in a similar fashion? Not quite sure if a smoke has been dropped, but that's another head. Oh no, he stopped defusing. Smiley gets the kill though instead. But it looks so promising from Rainwaker. I still will say a job well done.
Yeah, a couple quick frags, and then they didn't even have a kit, so that was definitely dicey. Just a couple shots being missed by Smiley would have tipped the ball in the favor of Rainwaker. But it doesn't work out that way. Still, yeah, three kills. I don't think he's too unhappy about that. And with the bomb being planted and 3 kills to his name, it does mean that I believe he should be able to have a decent buy. So this second round, this will already be a blockade for 100 PG to try to go up against. 3 Galils, couple Desert Eagles, they're going to fly straight out. The weaponry actually fairly limited on the CT side because they've got MP9s.
Ooh, early aggression coming through from the A main side. Rainwaker able to make it work against Winter. The MP9 not getting too much damage, so Skade with that numbers advantage has some space to work with. 100 ping gods quickly getting onto this site. Trying to move together on this endeavor, but at the same time, they leave the B site slightly barren. It's only Iceman to hold it through, but I don't think it will really matter because Skade, they're holding around this area.
Yeah, now they realize that because they've gotten the early pick, it'll make 100 PG scramble, try to aggress forward to potentially get a pick. And now because Skade have already come around the corner, Sorrow's going to have a lot to deal with.
Flash coming through as well. Molly to get him out of that site. Smoke to be dropped in the same location. Maybe some misinformation. No, actually, it's the reinforcements coming in from Smiley. Lovely done. But now Oxygen together with Smiley. Sorrow as well. Quick on his rotation. They'll try and deal with the situation, but Duplicate is quick on his feet. Oxygen as well puts a bullet straight through Smiley's eyes. Bro does try and do some damage of his own, but that distance with the MP9, not ideal. Not sure if he can bring any more damage. Same could be said about Iceman in the mid, but eventually Bro comes in with a backstab. Denislaw knows exactly where Bro is hiding out, and with not much health remaining, surely he will fall in a very quick fashion. Flo's being drawn out, maybe to find some extra damage. That MP9 finding a headshot would do just that, but no, Denislaw is able to shut him down, and it's Skade quick to react to find themselves that round.
Skade immediately bring it back, and that's off of the fact that they were able to get the bomb plan in the previous round because they've got the extra money to deal with. They're matched. The initial kill coming out, the MP9 being given up, the information. If you're committed on Ancient, if you push up ahead, the rotational times can be so long that Skade, they were simply able to capitalize, and now you can see 100 PG on the back foot. They've got Deagles, and I think they work out really well on this map because people aren't too familiar with the angles just yet, and I think holding off angles with the Desert Eagle, it's a lot more favorable. So maybe we can see something of that sort. I think Bro might have spotted a pixel or two, but nothing too major.
I love how Skade found themselves control over on window as well, making sure that someone is checking over towards Sheeta is exactly what you want. Bro does find one with a deagle. Instead, Ships will try and replace himself. But no, Iceman. He doesn't give that any chance. Galil now picked up by Bro, M4 by Iceman. Slowly, this is becoming a dangerous endeavor for Skade, but the fact that Duplicate finds himself within the backline of his opponents, he spotted out some movement, but Bro is ready. This is instantly a way better performance from this man than over on Dust 2. And now Skade are left with 2 players. And I wonder, do they still have a chance this round?
Yeah, they've got a couple AKs, so I still wouldn't count them out of it just yet. You know how good they can be on clutches. And if you want somebody on this kind of job, Denislaw has to be the one to do it. Rotating in from the tunnels. Moving all the way back now because they're isolated. It'll still take a while before they can really get onto a bomb site, and with 30 seconds remaining, this is tricky. You know that Rainwaker has to check a couple more angles. That's going to waste some additional time, and because they're speeding past the donut, that's the audio cue being given up to Sorrow and Winter. Now all they have to do is react.
Holding down the line, Denislaw. Gonna peek through. Audio cue given out. He's ready for it. He's anticipating a headshot connected. Then it rained. Raker doesn't pull out his weapon. He was so eager to get that bomb down. He didn't even realize there was a player there. And it is going to be 100 ping gods coming out ahead. Pinnacle betting 10 gives you 10 using the code CUT21 at pinnacle.com/welcome to find extra information. But make sure that's only bet what you can afford, because and also full terms and conditions do apply in that regard. But the fact that 100 ping gods get themselves a good start onto their opponent's map pick may be a good note for them, because they're already a map down, so they desperately need some sort of victory go their way.
Not sure how they can immediately turn things around, but I think being on the T side, taking advantage of unorthodox angles is a lot harder with those Desert Eagles. Now, boosting on over, bro, he's been spotted out. Takes a little bit of damage, becomes a more reasonable prospect to be taken away. Goes for a few pot shots, and a flashbang comes through as well to maybe have a teammate peek around the corner, but that's not the case. They've got 2 players on the B bomb site, with a third potentially coming in for reinforcements. Yeah, they've got no business actually getting onto the bomb site now, do they? Because 3 players waiting does mean that the players on mid from Skade actually have a bigger responsibility to try to carve out a niche that Skade can fit into.
Duplicate. He's being a sneaky man, peeking into Cheetah, but I think Rainmaker maybe even sneakier, already getting a kill. Putting that AK-47 to a test. It's a full enforcement here of that buy for Skade. They're fully invested in this round, so I want to make sure that it works out well for them. Still, 100 ping gods, their own economy is within the brink of losing out on most of it, really. Recession is on its line, so this is really vital. They hold down their ground like this. They go for an aggressive push, but they don't check Cubby. Smiley there to deliver. Iceman, it's a crossfire setup, and it's lovely. Denislaw does grab out one, but it's a repositioning to come in from Bro and Iceman to get themselves a victory. It's a clean round, and Skade didn't have too much to say about it.
I actually really like the turnaround, the redemption from Bro, because as you mentioned before, he's already at a point where he's putting up a better performance than Dust do. And I don't think Ancient would have started off in this fashion had they not been had he not been able to perform. So props to him. A little bit of a comeback. You know, everybody can have a map or two that doesn't really work out for them, and that's pretty normal in Counter-Strike. You know, it's not really having the lineups work out for you.
Ooh, an 8! Skade, they're feeling the wrath of that. You've got like a leg dangling somewhere, the other guy's limping, the other one's losing an eye. It's got like, I don't know, just random rock being thrown into his eye.
Yeah, already looking for an eye patch.
Oh yeah, definitely. A couple of them are looking like Captain Hook.
Yeah, Duplicate's pretty happy though. He's only lost a pinky and he's happy with it.
Something.
Yeah, it's a little harder to hold a Glock, but it's all good. I think he'll take that over a dangling leg. But 100 PG now. They're just getting ready for the mowdown. The lawnmower's being pulled out.
Don't know about you, but I don't see too much grass here. I see moss
because it's
around on the rocks. Oh wow, look at the odds. Yeah, no, Skade. They're not as favors as they were at the start of the round. I think Pinnacle is giving the chance to 100 ping gods sort of come back from this due to the fact that they are now 4-1. But I think if Skade can bounce back quickly, I don't think it should be a big problem for them this series.
Yeah, and you have to keep in mind that the odds are actually reflective of the series and not the map. So people still have a lot of faith in Skade to take it.
Oh, for sure. They're a map up, you know, so definitely should be the situation. Something that 100 ping gods have done a couple of times so far is put Winter into that A main position. Now, without any reinforcements, he can't stick around here too long, but at least he buys time for his team to move towards mid. Smoke out again. I wonder if they will try and challenge this.
Skade. They're going to be creeping on over to A, and because 100PG don't really have any info, they just have to rely on these two players with MP9s, and another juicy nade will make sure that they're a lot easier to pick off.
Waiting for the flash, of course. Smiley will be able to back out from it, but already it is Sorrow to get himself quickly onto the depth of Temple. We'll have that alternative angle to deal with. Rainmaker getting the first kill throughout it. Sorrow able to get himself the mark into the round, but Duplicate as well. They spray down. Oh, bro, that is excellent. 2 kills going his way, and Sorrow putting his mark into it as well. Denislaw, it's all up to him. Has to deal with 2. Bro, distinguish, and so will Iceman.
What a play from Denislaw. That actually looked like it was out of his hands, but Denislaw does what he does best, get clutches. And where in the previous map we saw Bro having a bit of a drop in performance, it's the same case for Ships, and I think that might be part of the reason why Skade even had to come down to this situation. A juicy nade to start things off, the spray down, everything lining up for the 100PG side, but Denislaw, he just puts his foot down, stomps on them, and now Skade, they're going to be moving right into the B bomb side. They're pulling all stops, moving right in. Iceman desperately tries to spray down, and he catches one through the smoke. Rainwaker, the TK, doesn't help at all.
Oh no, the Molly doesn't pay out Oxygen. He got trapped within it. Smiley's got an angle to work with, damage inflicted, but Iceman is able to find a closer. And Denislaw, a 1v2 was way more possible than his current situation. It's a 1v5. The full-on team of 100 pin gods are still remaining. Iceman only lost like a few fingernails. It's looking a little bit difficult from Skade. They've lost the tempo.
Yeah, but you know what isn't difficult? It's getting a €10 bonus on your deposit at Pinnacle, because right now they've got a little promotion going. If you sign up using the code CUP21, you get €10 back on your deposit of 10. So do go ahead and check that out, but make sure you only bet what you can afford to lose. Terms and conditions apply. Skade, man, very swift way to lose the round, but they want to do it all over again.
Ooh, and this time it may be successful. Ships running right up against Iceman, ripping his body apart with bullets, and now they need to be careful. Sorrow will get himself up close and personal. Flash coming through, Ships being challenged, but he wins in that occasion. 12 points of health remaining on him, but Ships is still here to say. Headshot connects until Winter throws him down. Bro looking to be a menace, but it's all up to the man Winter. His name is after a season, but I think his season is over. Oxygen able to give him that grand finale and give Skade that victory.
I love how they have the confidence to immediately go for it again. They just got shut down, but they're like, you know what? That TK was probably what didn't let us get through with it. So whatever, we'll just Mac 10 train it down on B, and it ends up working out for them. 100PG not anticipating it whatsoever. They were basically caught with their pants down. They had utility out, and Ships, I think he might have taken what I said to heart, because he immediately responds with a 2K. Or maybe even 3, I'm not sure. We're going to have to check the scoreboard, but regardless. Skade now looking a lot more favorable.
Winter behind the big box step will try and hold back. He's all by himself though, he needs reinforcement from Sorrow quickly, but the flash is perfect, able to peek out when Simon Rainwaker has got to, well, finds assistance with that flash at least, but still, it is Ships to hold down the ground from mid, denying those rotations, which is a crucial aspect in this, because there's only 2 players onto the site remaining. Denislaw does grab out Bro. Smiley, with that up at hand, I think he's going to want to save this big gun of green, because it's fairly expensive, and seeing 100 ping God's economy, it's not looking fruitful.
One thing I wanted to point out is that because Winter went for a smoke instead of going for an additional kill, it ends up allowing Oxygen to have an opportunity to take out a teammate. Because Oxygen was preoccupied with having another duel, Winter actually saw him in the corner of his monitor. Maybe he didn't because of 4x3 reasons, but regardless, had he gone for another duel, he would have come out on top. And I think that would have given them a better chance. But that little decision ends up allowing Oxygen to pick up 2. So, bit of a misplay there. And Skade, those kinds of misplays are exactly what they need to bring it back on Ancient. And they're doing a stellar job at it. By putting them in an economic deficit, you've gotten them down to 2,000. Smiley's the only one that can even make a dent. Now Skade are talking. Now they're about that equalizer.
Absolutely are looking to push forwards, and now they have the upper hand when it comes to weaponry, of course. But bro, he puts a dent into their push. They haven't even checked cover yet. He's hiding within the smoke. Uh-oh, he could be a menace here, Iceman. He's only got a pistol. But if he finds a kill here, he could deny the plant. He actually goes for the knife! Oh, he only finds damage, no kill. I like the cojones on the man, but I don't think his cojones are big enough because Smiley...
I think it might have been too big. He was too slow to get there, so I mean,
yeah,
you know.
maybe. Yeah, that would make more sense, yeah.
Yeah, but regardless, man, yeah, what a ballsy play. Try to go for a knife like that. So still, I think the way he approached it was like, okay, maybe I can get a lot more money this way. And also, if I try to just spam with the USP, it's probably not going to work out too much of a warning sign.
I mean, you would think he would at least get that one kill with a USP, right?
Maybe. But what made us happier? What made the viewers happier? The attempt, okay? So he cares about the viewership. He's putting on a show.
And we appreciate him.
I imagine that he just has the curtains drawn in the form of a smoke, and then he just comes out with a knife. The show must go on.
Oh, and I can hear that music. Show must go on. The show must go on. Yeah, sorry. Rock and roll.
Considering the fact that we're on a gun round, Dennis Law uncharacteristically misses a shot. Oxygen is able to put Bro in the grave. Iceman wants to try to recuperate some of their losses, but I don't think they'll find the opportunity to just yet. Ships narrowly finds the head of Sorrow. And now the numbers, oh no.
Ooh, there was potential there from Iceman, but it's instead Duplicate to rip his teammates' head apart. It would have been a 4 versus 2 endeavor. But now it's a 3 versus 2, which is within the realms of possibility here for the Kazakhstani squad. Winter puts his mark in mid. And Duplicate, the fact that he's solo, that really puts a dent into his comfort, really. Pushing through, Dennis Law expects that angle, manages to deal with it, and Duplicate will shut down Smiley as well. It is going to be Skade now to get themselves that victory.
Time and time again, their wallets are leaking. There's no money on the CT side. Skade, they're putting up some stellar performances individually, and where Ships was on 0 kills for the first 5 to 6 rounds, now he's bounced back. He's not even on the bottom of the scoreboard anymore, so Ships' impact has largely contributed to some of the rounds that Skade have been able to put up. No early smoke from Skade to get information or control. Instead, they'll just do things the old-fashioned way. The AWP shot going through the heart of Iceman. His heart might be ice cold, but now there's bullets in his veins.
Yeah, shattered to pieces as if it was glass. Sorrow able to put a bullet straight through Ships' nostrils. Painful way to go down, but, you know, at least it's instant. Sorrow as well, though. Bro, holding down a close angle here. I mean, Skade, they managed to bring things back, and I wasn't surprised when I saw the Pinnacle odds earlier depicting that Skade are massively favored. We were earlier talking about if the Resurgence came through, if they're able to close back the gap in their own favor, then it should be their game to play. And there wouldn't be much that 100 ping gods would be able to say about it, right? Although they do get 2 kills in this eco round of theirs, Smiley may have an extra chance as they are heading towards his way. If this angle isn't checked, Smiley has a chance. If it is checked, then there's nothing he can do about it. Unless if he gets 1 kill. 40 seconds, Smiley headshot, okay! Down to 1-on-1, and now he's got an AWP.
Oh, this is so difficult for Rainwaker. That might just be the round he given up, but Rainwaker will secure it regardless.
It got dicey. It got too dicey, man. Oh, I don't think anybody expected that.
Did you notice the patience there on the second shot with the Desert Eagle? He takes a chill. He casually pulls it out of his pocket. Lands at 1 dig.
It's the Wild West for him, man. He's pistolero.
Wasn't there like this Bugs Bunny meme where he pulls out a revolver and casually fires up a shot?
pushing through though. Skade, they want to increase the tempo of their play. And it looks like they've been able to do so as well in success. Oxygen does get 2 kills in the process, and he may look to double that up. Smiley peeks out with the AWP and puts a dent on the attack. Sorrow, he's in the smoke. He's behind him. He's able to find 1 kill. They don't know. They don't know. Why don't they know? This is massive. 2 kills going to Sorrow. He may have changed the tide of this game because the ship's all by himself with 8 points of health remaining.
Now he's got no chance because that HP is not favoring him whatsoever, and an AWP around the corner. Okay, Smiley, you might have given him an opportunity here.
No, the flash is too good. And Ships is distinguished. Oh, Sorrow, you beautiful man. How did he sneak himself up behind him without being noticed? I know there was a smoke in play, but let's have a look at the replay.
Yeah, he just walks casually past them. If he walks slow enough, they won't notice. It just doesn't register in their eyes because, you know what, it's just like tumbleweed. No, well, that is very deadly tumbleweed. Now, Ships, he is out for vengeance, but that doesn't really culminate into too much. Denislaw, because he can find a narrow angle, he can still manage to bring the numbers a bit closer. Winter. Don't see him to miss too many of those shots, but he does this time around. Smiley around the corner. He's going to be missing a couple shots in Temple, and that means that Denislaw, he's good for 2. He's down for 3, and now that means that a 2K will make it the ace, but the bomb is nowhere near his control. There's an AWP watching Temple like a hawk, and he still has to get through, bro.
Denislaw is looking clean as if he's wearing a suit, and he's got a 007 agent badge on him. He's killing with style. He's gotten 4 kills to his name so far, Winter. Oh, yeah, I do too, man. This is close. And this is ancient at its finest.
Look at how Winter is starting to doubt himself. Instead, Denislaw is going all the way around, so they're going to be greeting a lot earlier than they might have anticipated because they've both made the same move. Denislaw, he barely spots him, and Winter will deny the ace. The tie-up for 100 PG.
Wow. Winter, he read the play like a book, and I love the fact that he jumped over that boost position before he peeked that corner because it gave him the information available. The audio cue wasn't quite given. It was slightly too far away. But that is 100 ping goals, as you said, now equalizing the scoreline 7-7. It's neck and neck.
Skade, they're going to push straight into Temple. They want to go down mid. And they've already committed 2 players to this. A duel should be taking place soon as Duplicate is around the corner. Iceman. I don't think many players are too familiar with Ancient right now because Iceman gets the drop on Duplicate. Denislaw, he's going to have to find a duel of his own if he wants to make sure that the advantage is secured.
Well, there you go. Smiley's able to deliver onto the head of Ships all of a sudden. Denislaw, though, we talked about him being a madman, and he's bringing the madness towards Iceman. Really putting pressure onto him, but it feels like Denislaw may be a one-man army. Because left and right, his teammates are falling. I don't think he will expect this cubby position from Iceman. He does not. Simple pickings, Rainwaker. What can he do? He knows of the location of one player, but he has no idea where Sorrow is lurking.
Now he's anticipating a mistake to be made from the 100 PG side, but that's not something they're going to do. They know that all they have to do is hold down the line because there's 40 seconds and eventually he will have to step onto a bomb site. And because it's a crossfire setup, it'll always be a more favorable duel for the CT side. Rainwaker, you might have looked away at the wrong time, picks a quick frag, backs off into safety, and now this is doable as long as he can pick up a kill faster. Taps the bomb, that's not the headshot, and that's the round being lost. 100 PG. They somehow come out on top at halftime.
Couldn't have been a mistake, but ladies and gentlemen, you cannot make a mistake if you head over to Pinnacle by betting €10, because you get €10 in return, but you have to use the Cup21 code and also be the first time sign up. Go to pinnacle.com/welcome for some extra information on that regard. But as well, I might just say, because you need to bet responsibly, only bet what you can afford to do, and of course, full terms and conditions do apply with that offer as well. But 100 ping odds, they bring things up ahead now, 8-7 on their opponent's map pick. They want to make sure that they have a stellar lead here, and a pistol round is exactly how they can staple themselves ahead.
Oh, Skade, I think they want to be a lot more proactive in how they play this because they've sent up Denislaw. They've committed an extra player here, and a flashbang comes out to allow the T's to move on forward. Oh man, there's a 3-man sandwich coming their way. The bait and switch is actually set up for 2.
Oh man, you barely ever see this, but you love to. I don't think 100 ping goals are falling into that trap. Thankfully for them as well, because it would have been a deadly one. You might expect that one angle, but then, oh, all of a sudden there's one on the other corner. Ships, though, reigns supreme in mid. If it dies, he's already done his job. He's already found 2 kills, but he also does damage onto Iceman as well. Rainwaker, information given to him, smoke being dropped to the depths of mid, but Denislaw is already on that Windows angle, and Ships' damage was already playing dividends. Winter all by himself. And I mean, although he may be able to catch Oxygen off guard, it's not going to be the finishing blow. At least not yet. It takes some time for him to get that blow off. But instead, moves on towards the A side. He doesn't have the bomb. He's got a long way to go to deal with 3 players.
Yeah, pistol in hand, bomb being watched by Duplicate. Maybe he can quickly sneak away with it, but that's only 25 seconds on the clock. Now Duplicate knows, and even I didn't spot Denislaw. How have you done this?
He's a cheeky geezer, that's what he is, playing around the donut like that. And we see a knife round. Oh.
That's one of the special things about this little donut area.
Yeah, because you can always chase each other around it, but never spot him around. And Denislaw, yeah, he spotted Winter from a mile away, and was able to capitalize on it nicely as well. Skade, that's the equalizer they needed. But 100 ping gods, I don't think they'll be very happy about that. Although the stack will be deadly. The nades! Ouch! How is Iceman even breathing right now?
100 PG, now they are primed for the grinder. The FAMAS is going to make it look so easy because they are on the verge of death. Somehow Bro still gets away with a Glock kill. Okay.
Oh man, bring a stretcher, bring the ambulance. 100 ping gods don't look good. Oh man. Oof. That hurt. It's the combination of the nade stack together with a Rainwaker spray down. Complete mow down. Nothing that 100 ping gods could do.
But now they're on the AK, so we're gonna see, hopefully gonna see a bit better. Skade, I'm sure they were happy to pad their economy a little bit with that knife kill. But I want to see how the dynamic changes now that the sides have switched.
Look at this.
Bro, he's barely spotted it. The flashbang, it's flawed. It allows Bro to get away with 2.
Oh no. The flash was mistimed. Although the peak was genius, they had a couple of angles that they could have pushed from. Skade, they fall victims to their own demise. Rainwaker pulling things closer to his team, though I think it still will be a difficult situation. Oxygen hasn't been spotted yet. He hasn't found any contact. Though, Bro, he's going to check this corner. He knows exactly where Oxygen might be hiding out. It's all a matter of timing. Spotted things out, but no. It is the eventual headshot coming through. Superior AK-47 over the MP9, although he's barely standing. It's surprising how Bro has been able to pull up a performance like this over an Ancient, when you would have thought it lacklustered over to Dust 2 by a substantial mark. Now, it's a 4K for him. And if he chases after Rainwaker, although I find those chances very slim, he could even run away with an ace.
Yeah, the chances are slim, but yeah, you did mention that he's barely standing. I mean, of course, with the weight of 4 heads on his shoulders right now. Just holding on to them like trophies. But man, what a comeback from Bro in this series. You don't often see that. Maybe Dust 2 was just a bit of a one-off from him. And the difference in performance from Bro is actually contributing so much to this change scoreline. The fact that they can bring it that much closer, because Skade still have a stellar performance. With the exception of Duplicate dropping off, everybody's chiming in. And Denislaw, as usual, I mean, it's routine at this point that he's just going to be an outclassed performer. He's still going above and beyond the Call of Duty, and had Bro not been stepping up, I think this would have been a lot closer in the favor of Skade.
Yeah, and it's reflected on the Pinnacle odds as well. Shortly, a little bit more closer than it was a few rounds ago. 1-5. Still heavily in favor of Skade, as they are a map ahead in this series.
Oh,
Iceman, though, delivers onto Oxygen. Oh, there's nothing much he could do. He was caught with his pants down, essentially, wasn't he? And now Duplicate. I think he's given away his card, but still delivers with a kill. Denislaw setting up a crossfire, and it's working out in their favor. The CTs are backtracked towards the back alley, and for that reason, they stand alive for the time being. Smoke to draw them out. Will they push through it? They do. Ships will be challenged, but he connects the headshot. Trade on forwards as Bro does get himself the kill, but it's an Amber's advantage for Skade. Not for long. Winter on the back line, causing trouble. Rainwaker needs to shut him down, but he pushes up aggressively. Bro does put pressure onto Rainwaker from yet another angle, and now it's all up to Duplicate. He will show his card as soon as he touches this bomb. He does so, does not stick it. He expects the peek to come underway. Peeks out, one connected, touches it again. Will he stick it? He doesn't.
Oh, he
Peeks
doesn't
out just in time. Oh, runs out of bullets and Winter survives with 1 point of health.
He just didn't have a kit, so that it was so hard to work around it. The bomb plant was actually ideal for him to stick it. Had he stuck it even on the first try, he would have gotten it had he had a kit. And Skade, now they're the ones on the back foot, surprisingly, 100 PG. How is Bro able to hold it down on the post plant like that? Winter's flank, that was perfect. Completely dismantling any sort of opposition that might have come their way. The retake, it was completely thwarted by just having that additional pair outside the bomb site. I think the retake would have been successful had that not been the case. 100 PG,
Yeah.
they're looking happy to take away a throwaway round. Haven't really had too much breathing space in this room, or in this round. Don't know why I said room. I think it's because this cheetah area is kind of suffocating to look at.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a room of some sort. Not sure what it would be used for in a temple. Maybe to praise your god. Maybe they praise cheetahs.
Praise cheetah.
It's a very majestic animal. Very sleek in its movements. Characteristic to how 100 Ping Gods approach this round. Very clean from them, not dropping a single player in the process.
Couple rounds ahead, that does cushion their T side a little bit. And I can see how they could potentially run away with this, because Skade, you have to keep in mind that they will always have to be fighting from the back foot now, because they won't have much of an economy. A couple flawless rounds in a map like Ancient, I don't particularly expect it. Maybe if Denislaw can get those early kills, perhaps, but 100 PG, they are being meticulous in how they approach this. Their approach is a lot different from what we've come to expect from Skade, just running onto a bomb site. And now I think B should be their destination, because they've got a couple players starting to move in. The bomb is positioned in that way as well. It's just Winter who wants to eventually go for a flank, and the lurk position is actually quite powerful up until pros get used to these timings.
The timing is right for ships though. Skade, initially at least, as it has shown previously, can hold their ground. No rotation being brought out. Instead, ships will be challenging their backline. Denislaw with that AWP misses out on the first shot and now is giving away his position. Needs reinforcement still. Good for one. Oxygen taken out. Denislaw with the other. But now, quick on the trigger, will try and get himself a third. Succeeds in doing so. Smiley shuts him down. 1 versus 3, but they're already on the backline. Ships, his position was given away. 28 points of health with not much space. The room is closing in on him, and he needs to find a way out.
Yeah, he wants to walk out of this room. He's not happy about the spike trap. But maybe he'll walk right back in. I think he wants to surprise them. I think he's waiting for them to rotate all the way around. Now, do Skade expect this to be a fake? Do they expect him to go all the way back to A? I don't think he had enough time for it. Well, he did have enough time, but not enough to clear out the angles. But Smiley eventually is going to start moving in, and there's no way he checks for duplicate. 10th round on the board for Skade. Double digits, finally broken. But that's at the cost of their economy being broken down as well.
Yeah, not great, but you know what? I think this is even closer than we saw earlier on the Pinnacle odds, right? So 1-4, not too bad. 100 Ping Gods still have a chance, especially seeing that they are ahead. But you were talking about economy. I think we also need to look at the other side of the spectrum, because 100 Ping Gods, they're basically a defeat away from also hitting that recession mark. And they do not want that one bit, because then Skade could easily gain the advantage.
Yeah, and they are on the CT side as well, so I do think that Skade, on their own map pick, they might feel a lot more comfortable just holding these angles. Early flashbang, Denislaw, his push has been deterred, but don't think he'll be backing off from it just yet. Very juicy nade that puts Bro and Smiley within the range of getting picked away by just a spray down. Denislaw, on the other side of the map, he's making work happen.
Is indeed. I'm interested to see how 100 Pink Gods approach this from that numbers deficit. Moving up from mid is something that they haven't really found success in doing. But Denislaw, he's out of the equation. Ships takes back that position. Flash out. Maybe to push through, but is unscathed. Again, Sorrow find himself in the back line. Spro looks to approach from Cheetah. Sorrow, they don't have anyone to check from mid. I don't think they have any idea where he's going to come from. It's a ticking time bomb, isn't it? Slowly but surely, even if Skade hold their ground here, it's not going to look good enough. But they don't even do just that. What Sorrow can do now is hold the back line. Make sure the rotations don't come in. He doesn't need to focus on the site. There's only one player remaining. And even if he duplicate does get one, it's bound to get traded. Sorrow will spot him out. Headshot connected. And there you go. The B site. It's all yours. Take it. There's even a ribbon on it to make it look nicer.
Yeah, and that ribbon is Ships missing that shot.
There seems to be potential for 100 Pink Gods to take over their opponent's map pick here, doesn't it?
Yeah, and that would be a bit surprising, because you don't really expect them to pick up Ancient after their performance on the first map. Dust 2 didn't really favor them. You would and with Skade having a lot more officials on Ancient, you'd expect them to be a bit more well-seasoned. But at the same time, we don't really know how much they've been scrimmaging. I mean, if they can get a map against Skade 23, I don't think Skade is too much of a step up from that.
We knew this game would be very close throughout every single one of these maps. And it looks like our prediction is holding true to that prospect. 12 to 10, still anybody's game, though 100 Pink Gods have got a good reason to extend that lead further. Two rifles, if placed correctly, could still turn the tide of the game. But it might be too much to ask, especially seeing that Smiley does make sure Duplicate has nothing else to say in this matter. They're playing it slowly as well. They know there's no reason to make any risks. Take any risks, if you will. My English just
yeah.
flew out the window for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it does that every time. It just flips out, and if my English was a human, he wouldn't be. He'd be depressed. Trust me. Skade. Maybe they are on the brink of a Great Depression, because 100 Pink Gods, they're challenging them left and right. It should be a clean endeavor for them. The site being taken over, the bomb going down. And there you have it. The round should be theirs.
Now, Ships and Rainwaker being able to save up their weaponry does make a big impact in the upcoming rounds. But the issue here is that now you're only 3 rounds away from giving up the W. Skade, I don't think they want to take it to map number 3. This is their own map pick. 100 PG shouldn't be allowed this kind of comfort. And this is in addition to Denislaw still being an outclass performer. So because we don't really see the numbers come out from the likes of Duplicate, Skade are struggling. And instead, their counterpart, Bro, he's performing on Ancient. I mean, I just mentioned him. He adds another kid. He's like, yep, I'm right here. Yeah, he's somehow actually top fragging now for the team, where he was on 6 kills for the entirety of the previous map. Now he's entirely changed up his gameplay. He's second in terms of frags as far as the grand scoreboard goes, just 3 behind Denislaw, and he's doing it as a rifler, so that's very impressive.
It is, isn't it? It's crazy how he was so quick to adjust. Maybe the first map was a warm-up for him, but now he's back in it. Ships delivering with the first blow. Skade, maybe that's what they need to get themselves back into the game.
Yeah, taking Bro out of the server, that's a smart move by Ships, because he was the one putting up the numbers in duplicate. He's got to step up. He does just that by taking Iceman away. 3 players remaining for 100 PG.
Oh man. We know this positioning from Sorrow way too much, don't we? Although this time around it seems like Oxygen is aware of this angle. We'll make sure that nobody passes through him. The fact that Sorrow's been a nuisance in this angle so many times. There's still a prospect of him doing just that. Ships, he's got the lineup right. He knows exactly where he needs to place his crosshair. It's just a flash to come underway. Spots it, peeks out in time. Smiley's there to deliver. How about that? Maybe that's how they get themselves on site. Sorrow getting the kill. No, it's only damage as Oxygen finds the closer. Smiley delivers through the wall. And now Winter and Smiley have to deal with 3. They need to get the bomb down, but the smoke will give them some space to work with. Rainwaker looks to spray down, finds the head, and now it's all up to Smiley with 2 kills to his name. Will look to put on maybe the full-on ace if he's capable of doing that. Not much time remaining for him either.
Oh,
Peeking
he's
through
gonna
the
get
smoke.
caught out by duplicate.
They knew it. They saw him.
Too much information there. Skade. They've got some bank building up now, and because they have that additional AWP, now things get spicy. While 100 PG will always have a buy, it doesn't mean that Skade won't have the firepower to counter against it. They've got double ops. They're going to have that additional M4 on Rainwaker, so everything does seem to be working out for them now. They just need to hold on to it. They just need to put the pedal to the metal for a few more rounds.
Ooh, I love these peeks from Smiley. He's never fears to go aggressive with these angles. And even though that angle was already held by Denislaw, it still falls apart for the Skade side. Now, how do they position? They've got Winter towards that mid lineup, which means that they can have a crossfire set up if they want to aggress towards it. But that smoke will kind of keep them at bay for the time being, because Oxygen, he's lurking within those shadows. Bro, he's got an essential role to play, but Iceman, the fact that they've got so many players on location, it doesn't really matter. 100 Big Gods, methodically, one by one, they pick out Skade. Oh, he is.
Yeah, Ships, he barely spotted a torso, and that should be it for Ships.
It is. Goodbye, sir. So long, farewell. Auf Wiedersehen, goodbye. Adieu.
I think those are too many goodbyes for a team that still has a map to go.
Well, you know, it was a staple in this round, at least. It makes sure that 100 Big Gods does get themselves this victory. No more clutch potential given to them. And Rainwaker 1v5, it does mean that there's not much chance this guy may have. It sort of is reminiscent of that Dust 2 play that Rainwaker had previously, right? Always being the player to save, always being the player left behind.
Iceman didn't really give up an audio
Knife?
cue. Oh, knife, yeah.
Knife?
He wants to go for it. It's time for revenge, buddy.
No!
But Sorrow will deny it. Why would you do this, Sorrow?
Sorrow! No! That was Iceman's knife! We're waiting for it!
That was redemption.
Oh, Iceman, I'm sure that if he's within a hand's distance from Sorrow, there's a slap being at play. Oh. Hello, Discord.
Yeah, I like how we jump straight to the videos just to check if somebody's getting slapped on the back.
Oh, no, unfortunately not. Well, no, fortunately that doesn't happen. We don't endorse violence. Absolutely not. But again, it seems like it's a reoccurring theme, right? It is.
Ooh.
I was going to say 100 Big Gods
Pavlos.
getting themselves that initial advantage, but that's a couple of mad kills coming through from Oxygen.
Yeah, and now he wants to get aggressive to potentially pick up a weapon. I don't think he'll be afforded that privilege with that much ease. These couple Deagle kills, though, they could have entirely changed the pace of the game. Skade, do they capitalize on this? They've got 4 players. They've got the advantage. They've got an AWP for Denislaw. And they've got armor across the board, so something can be cooked up. There is a player in the form of Rainwaker who can easily pick up an audio cue or two.
Yeah, and the interesting thing is that the 2 rifles on the Skade side are towards this A site. They've got the right positioning on the players. Got the right read. And they make it work.
Rainwaker is playing such a passive angle. He's not going to go for any duels up until it gets dicey.
Peeking through now with a flash, that's going to be the cue for them to push forwards. Denislaw more aggressive in this approach, does succeed in finding the kill. Maybe that space that Rainwaker requires. Spray down, connects with 1, takes a little bit of damage, but it's still good enough for him. Winter's all by himself, and he's got a big role to play in this endeavor. Shot is found, but Duplicate does find himself that deagle shot through, and Skade still have a living chance to stay within this game.
Not sure how they turned that around, but they do with a couple deagles and a little bit of magic from Oxygen. I mean, fitting name because he's basically the life support that Skade are relying on right now. Somehow brings them back.
May I turn our attention to one of the statistics brought to us out here? Because maybe I'll do it a little bit later because there's some aggression being brought out from 100 Ping Gods here. Sorrow, oh, so close to ships. Flash coming through, succeeds with 1 kill, but doesn't realize Sorrow is right next to him, giving him a kiss. Smiley blows his kiss from a distance, as it is 100 Ping Gods still to be in lead and command when it comes to kills, and Smiley again smiles and waves. He knows he's done his job.
Smile and wave, boys.
Smile and wave.
Oh, Denislaw, though, I think he's going to be doing a bit of grinning of his own because he's picked up Sorrow, but it's unfortunate that Sorrow's the player that he had to pick up because he was already so low. I think he wanted to take a healthier player out of the equation, but now there's a lot of pressure on this AWP player. Iceman makes it look quite easy and crispy with a quick flick of the wrist. Rainwaker huddling onto his M4 once again. Dust too, all over again.
All over again.
Now he's panicking. He doesn't want anybody to go forward. This position is so good for knives. It's so good for flanks. Why does nobody check it? It's so easy to kite somebody around it.
Yeah, it is. I mean, even if you do check it, like you said, you can kite someone around it. If you're the first one to spot it and you're the one trying to hide out, then there's a possibility of you trying to hide away. Obviously, there's a chance in that close distance when someone is wary of it to spot out, I don't know, like a barrel of your weapon of some sort. But no, that was a very important round from 100 Ping Gods. They managed to bounce back, and now they're on map points, looking to take things to map number 3. And look at that. It's anyone's game. Back to 1.5 to 2.3. Something we haven't seen in a long
Yeah, if we head on over to Inferno. Skade, somehow they still managed to bring it to a 12th with just Deagles, but it's still not convincing enough. And now they don't even have an AWP for Denislaw to work with, so if he can make that pocket op work, perhaps that could be fruitful. Smiley, he's gotten so much success off of this angle that I don't think they're falling for it again. And nade goes out towards first. And now Skade, they just have to put in the work the old-fashioned way. Just a couple MP9, some elbow grease, and...
That angle would never work for the MP9. Don't know what was expected, really, of that situation. Smiley again. It's the penguins from Madagascar all over again. Smiling and waving as he greets bullets. Well, greets players with bullets, basically. Duplicate. That was an impressive shot, but I think that's all it's going to be. No follow-up, as he has been killed. Denislaw on the long way around, trying to rotate from spawn. Rainwaker has a big job to do, but he gets taken out with a 1-for-1 trade. The bomb is taking its time to get planted. 100 Ping Gods aren't taking any chances, but that also buys time for Denislaw to potentially find himself a kill here.
Yeah, and if he can pick up this AWP player, then he's got the one weapon that he's so comfortable with. Gets a chance at a second shot, and that's the op recovered. Now it's doable. 1v2, bomb's being planted, spots the butt, but he cannot connect the third. 16 to 12, 100 PG. They're going to move on ahead and take it to map number 3.
Back in it, ladies and gentlemen. Map number 3 here of Skade versus 100 Pink Gods as they do take on each other for the final decider here in the first game of the Swiss stage at Pinnacle Cup. My name is X-Warrior, and of course, with the lovely Wild Deity by my side, we'll be bringing you this action along with our partners over at Trustly. Now, the knives have come underway, and let's see which team elects. I think 100 Pink Gods win it through, so they get to choose where they want to start off on this third and final map.
If you want your payments to go through as quickly as that knife round did, or even faster, maybe you should go ahead and check out Trustly, who are our partners today. No cards, no app download, and no registration. And if you go ahead and check out Pinnacle.com, if you're going to go bet on it, you can also make a deposit there with Trustly. So 2 birds, 1 stone. You can check out both. But if you do head on over to Pinnacle, make sure you use the code CUP21 so you can get a €10 bonus on your €10 deposit. Bet safely. Make sure you only bet what you can responsibly, and make sure that you check out the terms and conditions because they do apply.
This round coming right ahead of Skade does look to go for a split approach. Now, it does mean that they're lured back into the site. Rainwaker will try and spot them out. Aggressively moving onwards, looking to find the shop. Ship succeed in one, but Iceman does deliver his kill over onto Rainwaker. They are making their way towards the A site. The bait has worked out, but Broken here all the commotion. He's got a huge task ahead of him, and can he perform like he did over an Ancient? Smiley does try and chime in shots from afar. Doesn't quite succeed. It's the bomb to go down for Skade with that numbers advantage as well.
4-on-3, the post plan will be so difficult for 100 PG to come through.
Huh?
Fancy animations. But we can still hear the commotion. It's all good. We're right back into it, and you know what? The result isn't any different from what we expected, other than those 2 fancy kills. That's the only thing we wanted to catch anyway.
Pinnacle knew their brain is huge. They knew exactly when the action would approach. Duplicate, though, has had enough of that shenanigans. Will shut down Sorrow and will give Skade themselves that lovely first start into this map.
Skade, yeah, already starting things off strong, and that's a big bonus to have to begin with, because if you're on that T side, if you start off strong, and you can have the enemy team buy up, perhaps you have the opportunity at a highway to just glide across the map. Do you have a couple of those money-making machines, which haven't been put to use just yet, because the big daddy of the MAC-10s is being put to good use, the AK-47. Switching on over to the UMP now, because the HP has been taken out. Iceman! Very nice swing out wide as he's able to pick up 2 in that process, and that nade follow-up, of course, means that duplicate will be within 1-shot headshot range as well.
I love the proactive rotation from Skade, but I think it won't pay off because Duplicate has just got himself the kill. Now they're getting themselves back onto this situation, but you know how desperate the endeavor is when you have to rotate that quickly without any information, play things upon a hunch. The time is being played out perfectly. Skade now approaching this banana side, getting themselves ever so close. The chicken is making a lot of chaos. Winter looks towards it. Shut up! You're gonna hide away my position. Now pushing through though, Winter through the smoke. Sorrow able to deliver. Headshot does connect them. Then it's slow and they do cross forwards either way. Winter up against the smoke. Has to fall back from it. Sorrow as well. But I think the rotations have already come in. 2 versus 3. Bomb plant does ensue. Rainwaker looking to find that alternative angle as the smoke does fade out. He's there to deliver onto Sorrow when it's needed. But I think they're going to try and get themselves together. Collaborate on their push. Duplicate, though, he's got a strong weapon to deal with, so does Rainwaker. Can they close things out one by one? They don't expect the high-end angle. Duplicate does grab out 2 in the end, but Bro is able to shut 1 down. All down to Rainwaker, but he can play time. He knows exactly what he needs to do. And Bro, he's under a lot of pressure.
Yeah, he just wants to back off with this AK. No kit available. It's going to make a big difference, and he even gets a swing on the way out. So Rainwaker, although he's in the grave, he's already planted the bomb on the coffin, so that's all that matters. Skade 2-0.
Well, look at that. And the Pinnacle odds are closer than ever. Have you ever seen them 1.8 to 1.9? It's literally anybody's game. And we said that from the start, right? If it does turn out to be that third map, even Inferno is looking to be a very dicey game.
Yeah, the wild card for our case was the fact that 100 PG ended up winning Ancient. Because that was an outcome that we simply didn't anticipate. It does work out in their favor, but they still have to go up against map number 3. And it's not like it started off amazingly. Bro, of course, being able to save that AK-47 from the previous round does give them a much better chance. Some acrobatics from Sorrow will just land him in the flames. Not much to be gained off of this unless he can get the drop on Duplicate. There's the pixel. He knows what's up, but Duplicate will punish him, and he even wants to go for a second, but Winter's good with the CZ. 4 on 4. The numbers have been equalized, but banana control fully established by the T's. Iceman plays the verticality of it. Puts the FAMAS to good use.
Sort of wanted to bounce back there, but I think the damage has already been inflicted. The Kazakhstani team is the one to be set in their ways ahead at this point. Not for long, though. Denislaw makes sure that Winter has no other breath to take.
He's missed Denislaw.
He's missed Oxygen as well. Peeks through, does grab out the kill. Does he expect Denislaw in that close angle? Takes a lot of damage and has to fall back, so it doesn't fall down either way. Denislaw, he actually will aggress, looking for that high angle. Oxygen will catch one off guard. Denislaw wins out on his trade as well. The tide of this game has completely changed, and it's Skade now with a bomb plant to give themselves a potential third round on the board.
What a way to do it. Skade. They must have completely dismantled the economy of the 100 PG side. Smiley, who wants to step into the shoes of Burrow from the previous game, and rather the previous round, and get away with a kill and an AK-47. That does cushion their chances a little bit more, but at the same time, Team Skade are being given a bit too much of a leeway. Previous damage from 100 PG does mean that economy won't ever be too comfortable for the Skade side, but that's still a good start from them. 2 guns being saved, that is 2 additional players that can now be set up to have a couple AWPs in the upcoming rounds.
Swift stuff. Just the Swift, as your payments could be over at Trustly. You can even use Trustly to head over at pinnacle.com/odds and use it there. And well, you'll find the latest odds in play offerings for 100 ping odds versus Skade. Keeps your money safe. It's exactly how you want to really use that application to its best of regards. Always paying with it is exactly what you want to do. Ooh, the timing there wasn't quite right for Iceman, was it? Oxygen quickly does put himself over him, tramples right through him. And with 100 ping God's limited firepower this round, it seems like it will ever so quickly become a difficult endeavor for them.
Yeah, I'm a bit surprised that they're not they're not going for something similar to a 4-1 stack, because of course you don't have the money. You should be relying on Skade to walk into a sandwich of sorts, but that's not the case. Instead, they'll be going up brackets, and this works out perfectly for them because the rotation has been called into B. They are reading the book, but I think they're holding it upside down because they've left just Bro all alone, and even he will be taken out of the equation.
Tripping gods, they're in trouble, and it's visible. The H-light is clear for the taking. It's Baron, as visible from that lovely camera shot.
We saw a couple of chickens in there.
Oh, that you'll see a lot more over an Inferno, that's for sure.
What if you healed 5 HP by shooting a chicken, but in the process also gave up your information?
Would you give up away your information because you just ate the chicken, which made you sick, and you were puking, therefore the audio cue would be heard throughout the map because you'd be screaming from pain?
I feel like that kind of food poisoning is too acute. Like, I don't think that it occurs that quickly. But okay.
Oh yeah, I know.
Or maybe in the process of trying to eat the chicken, you just ended up getting into a fight with it, but then you'd lose HP, so I'm not sure what's going on here.
Maybe you get into a fight with it, but you'd come out ahead, but the chicken will just be so loud, it's bound to give away your position.
Yeah, okay, that sounds like a... I mean, you're firing a gunshot anyways.
Fair. Video games. 4-0 though in this current video game for Skade. It's looking pretty good for them.
I had another wacky idea, but I think I'll just put that to rest for a little bit while the game carries on. But 100 PG, yeah, this is their first opportunity in a while to have a bit of a fair duel. Sorrow, you've been caught out with utility, but you've got a chance to back off. throws out a molly. Now they're sprawling onto the A side, 2 from long, a couple from short, and the bomb will be joining them very soon as well. Flashbang over to the top. Sorrow has to deal with 2. Now moving right out through the smoke. Sorrow still does have a chance, but he is completely white. Bro, struggling to find his patience in pit, looking at 2 angles, 1 moving in from graveyard and a couple from the wheelbarrow. He's been caught out. Now the rotations need to come in.
Ooh, and Bro now will hold down his ground from above, though the innate damage will do so much. It will finish them off as well, giving them the advantage in a matter of seconds. The 100 Pink Gods take over the site and make it their own.
What a chaotic round. I cannot believe that Bro stuck around for that long because I almost counted him out after that Molotov ensued. Under PG now. They're dedicating 3 players to the B bomb side. The early Molotov will make sure that nobody can peek on forward with the AWP, so that will keep Smiley at bay for just a bit longer, but eventually though, I do expect him to aggress forward. The Molotov that they've thrown themselves allows the T side to think that they haven't taken control just yet, but that's not the case because Smiley is playing this very proactively. No flashbang to be thrown just yet. Peeks up preemptively, but Smiley does not get to capitalize, and they're moving right in.
Oh, Iceman wanted a piece of that pie there, but realized, oh, no, maybe not. That's a bad idea. Let's back out of this. I think it was a wise alley to take, really. Surprisingly enough, 100 Pink Gods have set most of their players towards the ace site. Boost to come underway, Iceman. Have an off angle to work around with, but how much of a difference will it pay? Together in the same angle, looking to go for the boost once more. Slightly exposed. They managed to make it work. Smoke's coming through, flashes as well. This is going to be the push, this is going to be the take. Iceman does grab a warn before he falls. Duplicate does find the headshot eventually, but it's Winter to quickly return in favor. 3 versus 4, Sorry behind the smoke, looking to hold it down, but the flash does delay the push. Spray down, spots out Rainmaker's head. It's just too huge. Denislaw as well, getting that same angle, still keeping things in reach for Skade. Ships nestles himself in a corner here, and Bro, I don't think he'll check it. He does not. He'll fall. Ships, that looked dicey, but he's able to deliver in the end. Smiley, too slow on the trigger, and that's going to be the bomb plant now for the Bulgarians, and likely to be the round for them as well.
Oh, he doesn't even get a chance to run away. The double scope, it catches him off guard. Denislaw puts a bullet through his skull, right between the eyes. Skade, what a strong start to the terrorist side, and you can see that with how battered the economy is, how good the lead is, just everything working out in the favor of Skade so far.
Lovely aggression to be shown there from Smiley. Something you rarely see, right? But he felt comfortable. And he did it. It worked. Very nicely done. Oh, Ships, though. He's been spotted. No, Winter. He was slow. He wasn't checking his feet. And Ships delivers with a double up. How does that even happen? They can't afford it. They had the numbers advantage, but now the round has gone topsy-turvy. Skade have the upper hand, and that's a clear leeway onto the B site. Now Ships will try and hold down his corner towards the Cathedral's side. Sorrow has to fall. And I think the hopes of 100 Pink Gods are dwindling. They're burning out. There's nothing they can do. Apart from saving these weapons, really. But Skade, they changed the tide of that round ever so quickly. And now, Duplicate. He's going for a search and destroy mission. I wonder if he'll find any contact. I mean, if he peeks out through library, Pro is there and waiting. Could be simple headshot, but it's not a one-tap headshot, so it couldn't pay off. There you go, Duplicate. He gets the kill. And there's only one AWP save from the 100 Pink Gods side. The timeout does come out. And I'm not really surprised because they're put under pressure, but that gives us space to talk about our sponsors here. Pinnacle. Betting €10 gives you €10 back by signing up with the code CUP21. And if you want further information, you can head over to pinnacle.com/welcome to get yourself, well, that extra information that you may require, because there are some terms and conditions that do apply in that regard. But as well, I might make sure that you guys are betting what you can afford. Bet responsibly, because when the fun stops, you have to stop.
And if you are going to head on over to Pinnacle, remember that you can use Trustly to make a payment over at Pinnacle. So, you know what? Two birds, one stone. You can check out both both services at the same time, and make your online banking payments a lot smoother with Trustly. Skade. Now, this is a timeout that 100 PG desperately needed, so I want to see if this can actually affect their pace a little bit. It's very tough for them to get back into the driver's seat with how big the round deficit is, but if they can get a few rounds rolling... Oh no, if trigger discipline works, Bro has been caught out. Winter, though, he's able to respond. Smiley gets caught out in the open. Iceman wants to defend a teammate, so instead he'll be giving up his life. Sorrow is in hot pursuit of Denislaw, and he does catch him. Switches over to the AK. Now, the T's, they should be getting onto the B-bomb site shortly. Just one defender remaining right in. Smiley with the AWP. Quick flick of the wrist. Wants to get a second. The headshot connects. Oxygen has been taken out of the server. It's just Duplicate remaining. And he flicks over to the coffins. Headshot through the box onto Duplicate through his skull.
Smiley, you're a dirty, dirty man. Go have a shower now. Oh my word. He was all by himself on that side, but he was able to deal with the oncoming onslaught either way. I'd love to see a replay from that, even if it's not this round. I know the round has already started, but next time, I want to see it again. It needs to happen, because that was insane. To say the least, he salvaged the round from 100 ping gods, and he may salvage the game, because now they've got space to work with. Now, they've got room to come back.
Yes, Kay, but they want to aggress right on forward. Moving into arches, they've got 3 players situated there, but Sorrow's playing around the smoke. Duplicate with a couple quick shots from the Deagle. He does manage to get one. It's a 2-for-2 trade, and Smiley wants to peek around the smoke.
And it's now waiting out here. Oh, the timing isn't right for him. Smiley won't be able to capitalize on that. Bro as well with a headshot. No, how's the tide of the game has changed completely. Smiley. Well, I think there's no reason to say it again, but he smiles and waves to his opponents because they know they're doing a stellar job right now.
Man, whoever the manager is for 100 PG, I want them to take another photo of Smiley where he's actually smiling. It's not a very fitting picture. Maybe there's the irony in it, you know? He looks very serious in his profile photo, and his name's Smiley. Who knows? What's the intent behind it? We'll never find out.
Ooh. I'm sure there's a massive smile on his face. I mean, obviously this should be a simple ordeal, but I think you have to, you sort of have to look back in retrospect to what they've been able to achieve, because even when they were losing those rounds while Skade was getting themselves to the 6th, they managed to do a lot of damage to them, which made their economy a lot more breachable, which is exactly what they did. Now 3 rounds in a row for them, put them on a really good spot. There goes the replay that I was talking about. Quick to react. It's going to be a second kill for him as well. Peeks out through, barely spots out Duplicate hiding there, and he just pulls a trigger through the coffins. Splendid stuff.
Early smoke comes out to give them a bit of control, but Smiley's been stuck. Goes for a quick shot, just has a barrel bend around the corner and land a bullet. But Chips, he's not going to be part of the team no more. Just 4 players remaining. Denislaw, okay. That was interesting.
Denislaw was the unstoppable force over an Ancient, but I think someone needs to put the brakes on Smiley, because he's not stopping at all. I think Duplicate has just done that. He managed to sneak his way into the car and just pull the handbrake. But now Bro is getting an off angle right next to the molly. Rainwaker will expect it, therefore he will get the kill. Sorrow also spotted out. Needs to find an extra corner to sneak himself into. Skade, they're taking their time in this attack.
Yeah, and he's being approached from all angles. There's 3 players around him. They are circling him like sharks. All he can see are fins, and will he spot the fin of Duplicate? Because he's coming around from long, and that's the one he's anticipating, but the bite is too quick.
It's too quick. Too feisty.
Chomps him down.
Completely. Painful way to go down as well. Yeah, Iceman's going to have to be on the receiving end of the stick now. Because we were giving praise to 100 ping gods bringing things back here, but the fact that Skade, as soon as they get a buy in them, they're able to show such dominance when it comes to takes like that. Still makes you wonder. Still anyone's games, but they pull things back in their favor, you know?
Yeah, I was just going to finish your sentence by saying it still makes you wonder what the audio is on that radio. Never been able to decipher it.
Never. Slowly things to be favoring Skade on the Pinnacle odds as well.
They are getting better though, right? For 100 PG.
They were better at the end of Ancient. Now they've gone slightly in Skade's favor again.
And you can see why. Skade are outperforming 100 PG heavily. I mean, they've had a few rounds here and there, so 100 PG, they're able to manage 4 off of his landslide, but how sustainable can that possibly be? Smiley, once again, he's playing the same position, and I think this time they've predicted him. They expected, and they double down on the damage. Very little HP now remaining on Smiley, and because he's only got 32, maybe he can get taken away. Not the case, 100 PG. Instead, I think they've set themselves up for a very comfortable round, and with the money the way it is, oh boy.
It's looking rough. It's a back and forth right now, isn't it? It's a roller coaster of affairs. As soon as Skade get themselves one, it seems like 100 ping gods are bouncing back with aggression of their own. But to be fair, it was Skade to be over eager with their pushes there, right? Look at the positions where the players died, you know? They were basically breaching into the lineup of 100 ping gods. On both sides of the spectrum as well, so maybe slightly too greedy in that regard. They want to reconsider their approach. Because 100 ping gods, they were ready for it. Every single area was covered. I believe Bro is covering Duplicate's position as well.
Yeah, that should be a freebie for him. Not possible for him to flick in time. But yeah, now they're starting to look solid. They've got so much of a bonus built up that now they're good. They've got 12,000 on Iceman. We are experiencing a technical pause, so Pavlos, that does give us time to talk about something now, doesn't it?
Oh, it does, for sure. Because if you guys think you know your stuff, Pinnacle.com/odds is exactly where you want to be. You were seeing odds throughout this game, how they've been depicting how things are going. That's basically where you can bet. Obviously, there are terms and conditions that apply when it comes to betting, but you need to bet responsibly when you do so. But the reason why you should head over to Pinnacle.com is because of their offer they've got going on right now. Because when you bet 10 euros on esports, you get 10 euros back. But for that to happen, you need to be a first-time user and use the code CUP21. As I said, remember, you need to be responsive when you do so. But if you also want to have a nice, swift, and easy experience when it comes to transferring money, Trustly is the way to go. And you can use it in Pinnacle as well, so it comes hand in hand.
Back to the game, though. The pace slowly shifting in the way of 100 PG, and they're going for a quick run boost. Smiley walks. That was way too smooth. Ooh, looks away at the wrong time. I think he had the angle to be able to pick up a kill with the AWP, but Duplicate and Denislaw, they've taken quite a bit of utility damage. Makes it an easier angle for himself, and Smiley doesn't even have to go for the second because Duplicate, he will gladly just burn himself up in the flames instead.
The bomb is completely in favor of 100 Pigots here, which is why Skade are going to struggle quite a bit. There's not much utility left in their arsenal either. Just a flash, a Molotov. It's going to have to be good enough or else they'll be in trouble.
Look at the deaths of Smiley. He's on 4.
He's insane. Don't know how he does this, really.
Yeah, and this actually has me worried for the 100 PG side because I don't think he'll get the same level of opportunity with regards to the sniper rifle when he is on that terrorist side. So He's got to make the most of it right now, and unfortunately, it still hasn't been enough to put them ahead at halftime. They are making a very good case for it, don't get me wrong, with the money built up, with how convincing this round and the previous one have been. But, you can't see where I'm going with this. Smiley, if he doesn't get a chance to pull the trigger so often when he is on the T side, who knows?
To be fair, though, Wildera, you say that, but remember on Ancient, when they were on that T side, how aggressive he'd get himself into positions? And he more often than not, was able to deliver when it came to those shots. So if we see a replication of that here onto Inferno, I think there still may be a chance for him, but I can definitely see where you're going, because the line of fire that you can hold with the AWP on the Inferno is still ridiculous.
Skade. The only thing they can hear dangling around in their pockets is loose change right now. Just coins upon coins. Not too many solid banknotes that they can buy up the big weaponry with. Smiley, once again, wants to be very proactive with how he approaches his style of sniping. Bro with a quick nade. I think that actually knocks Rainwaker out of position, but it's not good enough to take him out of the server just yet.
Yeah, that one isn't either, is it? He's barely breathing, though. He's damaged quite a bit. He's lost a limb. His nose is crooked. Which is good, because there's a lot of chicken poo around this map. And I guess he can't smell that anymore. He can't smell anything. Poor man. His nose is clogged up with blood.
That's a harsh way to put it, but Skade, they're about to turn up the heat on the B-bomb site. Doesn't matter too much, though, because 100 PG, they've got the weaponry to deal with this. It should mostly be a throwaway round, unless Dennis Law can somehow put up the numbers with an AK. I'm a bit surprised that he has that much confidence to just be sitting around with his knife out. But he only has to deal with one player on the B-bomb site. Sorrow is watching the cross, but because they don't have a smoke, that's an additional duel that they now have to worry about.
Absolutely is. Dennis Law easing forward. Sorrow as well, with the smoke not coming through. Will be able to chime in a few shots. Will he find the closes? The cross only has come through, but the flash, oh no, the timing isn't quite there for him. That is redonkulous. Sorrow does get taken out. Iceman as well, overwhelmed from multiple angles. In Skade, how do you turn the tide like this? There's a couple of AKs they can now work with. Ships closes up the angle with that P250. It could be really a menacing angle to be holding from. Winter has to fall. Bro has to get himself the kill, and he's successful in doing so. 2 versus 3 still in favor of the Bulgarians, as the Kazakhstani squad is trying to move onto the site. Flash coming through, a couple of them still available on the side of Bro, but Smiley, he's there trying to hold that line of fire, trying to find that kill. It's taking Bro a while to find that finishing kill, but now will recollect, get himself closer. Denislaw holding down his ground, looking for that headshot. Smiley misses out his shot, runs out of time. Denislaw gets the kill, and it's Skade's round for the taking.
Yeah, that was the X factor. With Dennis Law holding onto a rifle, you never know what can happen. A little bit of timing going the way of 100 PG, and Skade being able to connect their shots. It's all that they needed. Somehow, with just Glocks being paired up with a rifle, that's all it took. Now, they've solidified their lead, and 100 PG, now they're just playing for scraps. Got all the money in the world, but not enough room to breathe, not enough time for rounds, and they can't really take that money to the grave. Ooh, Smiley. Nice little shot from him, but now the T's want to recover.
They absolutely do. Winter has to fall back. Oh, it takes a lot of bullets to the lower side of his back, and now needs to be careful because they're quickly on the trigger here. Sorrow, ooh, slightly wide when it comes to that spray down, but he still does quite a substantial amount of damage. Nade only burning the back of his buttocks. Apart from that, though, Skade, they're backing away from this. They've lost a player. They're trying to regain ground towards Banana. Make sure that at least the rotations are split up.
Yeah, Skade, but they've taken so much damage, Pavlos. Oxygen and Duplicate, because they're so low, it'll be incredibly hard to actually get onto the bomb site. Now they're relying on the flashbang to be the one to do the job, but Iceman doesn't even need to try for this. Just sprays out wildly. And him and Sara are going to be able to catch two. Rainwaker and Denislaw now desperate to get onto that bomb site. Rainwaker maybe picks up one here, so he brings the numbers closer, but it's still a 2-on-4. So double the players that they have to deal with, but Rainwaker has got an bomb site access over on the other side of the map.
Well, we said this game was going to be close, and, well, it cannot be closer. It'll be difficult for Skade to come back from this.
No.
And especially when Sorrow frags out like that. Denislaw, you need to wonder here. Delivers with the first one, but how far can you take it? Second one being brought out, 180-degree turn, and he's able to find the kill onto Iceman. Now this is within the realms of possibility. Oh, Denislaw.
Oh, he's been
Brought out
spotted?
Madness. He knows, HE grenade, Kobe, no, doesn't find the damage, and but he finds the kill! Denislaw, 1 versus 4 clutch for this man, and puts Skade on a 9-6 scoreline at halftime.
How has he done this? Denislaw, that's not a round you're supposed to get, especially not after the one player that's supposed to protect you has already been taken out of the equation. Bomb plant, 1v4, peeking into an op, getting sandwich, doesn't matter because Denislaw's got an answer for everything.
I'm going to be fair, I didn't believe in it in the start. There were just too many players, but they walked in one by one, never simultaneously pushing through, which by default allowed Denislaw to isolate those kills. And the last nade was the Q. He knew exactly where the other player was going to come from, where he had to peek from. And that's because I know they must know that they shouldn't have lost that round. It could have been an 8-7 scoreline, which would have benefited them substantially when it comes to this next half.
Oxygen now, he's been spotted out. They know that there was a second player on the booth, so Iceman is anticipating it. But Chips, he's good for 1. The nade has managed to take another player off the server, but these Ts, it doesn't seem like the duels are really going in their favor. The USP, long range, always favored, but Duplicate now, he's taking a bit of a scratch as the Ts make their way back to the A-bomb site.
Winter catches the rotations off guard. Denislaw has fallen. Rainwaker trying to hold his ground towards Pit. Smiley's low, but he fails the headshot onto Sorrow. Quickly quashed down to the ground, with the bomb now being punched in. Does mean that Skade have some space to work with. Both players fairly low, so it is going to be a difficult endeavor. Diffuse kit, Kevlar. Looks like they're going to be saved. Yeah, that's it. Well, 100 ping gods. At least they've got a chance for the gap closer now.
Yeah, Skade actually looked a bit dominant there over on Banana. But because the duels don't work out in their favor, at the end of the day, 100 PG are able to take it. And you can see that Skade are still looking locked. They're looking like they're watching their monitors like hawks because they know that they haven't gotten ahead far enough. They are on the CT side, yes, that helps, but the T side can always spiral out of control.
Now Skade, 9-7, they desperately want to stay ahead, and that's going to mean the buy round will come out from them. Full enforcement of that money into those weapons. Ships onto that max 7, I like that. Can it work out though? Deagle short from Duplicate. Show away his angle. Ships as well, looking to close up the gap. Ooh, I'd love to see some swag 7 kills come out. Flash underway, holds his ground. Looks like 100 ping gods may want to challenge this, but they make sure that Skade is conflicted. That's sort of the name of the game for Inferno, and it always will be. One of the longer rotations when it comes to maps. And that CT side. A lot of teams want to take full advantage of that. Prospect Sorrow. Inching forwards little by little. To forget to hold down the ground. It is a decoy to close out the deed. But that might be the cue here for 100 pig gods to move towards that A site. Skade have got 3 players. Upland balcony, 1 in arch as they do trickle forwards towards that haystack. Good positioning there from Skade, as it expected. Shot coming through. Bro does connect the headshot. Does he expect Denislo in that angle? No, he doesn't. Being brought out here from multiple angles. 2 versus 2. Skade can still win this out. Headshot. Winter does get it, and Ships does mean he's all by himself. Galil at hand. Still, within the realms of possibility. The bomb doesn't quite get planted. AKs across the board. And he does push aggressively. 1 shot. He needs to find the second kill. Smoke out as well. What can Iceman do? Hiding behind that lodge. Ships knows exactly where he is. He just needs to close the angle. He does get slightly closer. Iceman, he expects the chase, falls back and lures him in. Headshot does connect, and it's 100 ping gods to eventually come out ahead.
Yeah, that was a lot more doable than the clutch that Denislaw was able to pull out. Still a valiant effort. The way he's able to isolate the bomb planter like that. Maybe if a few more bullets went his way, that would have been the clutch, but nothing comes close to that headshot from the AK-47, unfortunately. Very interesting statistic powered by Trustly there, that Skade, they've won 5 out of the 6 rounds that they've gotten the first kill in, so...
It was 5 out of 5 before this round, because they did get the first kill in that process, but yeah, well, there goes that 100% statistic.
100 ping gods, 100% gods, who knows?
Who knows? Ships, Max 7 play again. Can it work out? No, the timing isn't ripe. Iceman, he's able to deliver the shot, no problem whatsoever. Can duplicate hideout in time. You can see the rotation scrambling towards the B site, but I think it's too late. It's already been taken over. The cathedral will be taken hostage as well. There's a Pope in there. Hoping that they don't shoot him, because holds his hands in the air and says, you can take everything you want. Just leave me alone. Skade won't be left alone, because this is where 100 ping gods find that equalizer.
Yeah, but this is also Skade's opportunity to get back into it. And what I'm particularly interested in watching is how Denislaw delivers with the AWP when he himself is on that CT side. Because we've seen all the shenanigans come out from Smiley, and yes, he had amazing impact as far as carrying his team is concerned. But now Denislaw gets to do the same, doesn't he? He's already put up such a good performance with the AK. We all saw that 1v4 clutch, so how does the dynamic change when Smiley's on the other end of the stick? And by the stick, I mean the magic stick.
Are you seeing the odds? Are you seeing the odds? Because I think for the first time, or maybe one of the only times, 100 ping gods are actually favored to win the map.
Ooh, that's interesting.
And by map, I mean the entire series.
Yeah. Oh man, look at this level of damage under PG. The utility is too powerful for them. Ships wants to swing out once more for the Max 7, and he doesn't know that there's a player. Sandbag jumps over, pops a pixel, and that should be good enough. Sorrow and Smiley, they're so low on HP, and before 100 ping gods can even solidify the idea that they might have a better chance, they might have better odds, Skade have taken it away from them.
Oh, the nades were incredible at the start. It gave them such an advantage. Now, what can be done? They're going to push towards the A site, trying to find an advantage elsewhere, but I think the all cornerstones have been covered. Denislaw misses out on the first shot, but the fact that Duplicate is there to deliver, it's a simple crossfire for them. Sorrow has had enough, walks within the line of fire, and has to fall. Skade, that's double digits now for them.
That's the problem for 100 ping gods now. They have to go up against a locked and loaded Skade, and you know how deadly they can be once they have any control over an area which can be dominated with an op. Because Denislaw is the man for the job. And yes, Smiley did a stellar job when it was his turn, but now it's going to be a lot harder. Can he still manage to neutralize Denislaw when he's playing with the disadvantage? 100 PG slowly taking control of second mid and aparts. That does mean that Rainwick, or rather Oxygen, has to back off. Can't feel too comfortable because it would isolate him into a single duel. Ships tries to go Superman on Winter, but that doesn't work.
Superman, Spider-Man, whatever you call it. It's acrobatics he was trying to pull off.
I mean, he has been quashed like a spider, so not Spider-Man, but Spider.
Spider-Boy. Yeah, maybe just Miss Spider, but look at the push coming through here from 100 ping odds. It looks like Oxygen has an idea, but he's got a big task ahead of him. They actually line up. Damage onto one, but a kill onto the other. Bro does find a finishing blow onto him, but can they continue onto the A site? Yes, they can is the answer. Skade isn't even there. But the fact that they're taking so long, maybe there's a chance for them to recuperate onto it. Maybe there's a chance for them to get on it quickly, but I don't think they're going to do that. They've opted out of it completely. They've left out. They want to make sure those rifles head over to the next round, but essentially, that gives 100 ping odds the equalizer. And it's still anyone's game.
Yeah, absolutely. If 100 PG had a bit better of an economy, I would be willing to give them the benefit of the doubt that, okay, I think they actually have a better chance. But Skade, they don't seem like they've lost control of their eco just yet, so for now, I do hold the opinion that Skade are slightly favored. But because I've said it, you know what happens to these predictions.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. I'm sorry. You're always 100% wrong when it comes to predictions.
Yeah, 100 ping gauze, 100% wrong. That's, I should probably join their team.
Yeah, maybe.
Would be very on brand.
And it would also be better for your ping, because right now, what, you're getting, you're getting 150? Still an improvement.
Yeah, it's still an improvement for me.
I love the Swag 7 play from Ships. And the crossfire at the end was exactly what was necessary to close things out.
Early Molotov from 100 PG, but Smiley, he's taken out the counterpart. That's exactly what they needed to neutralize Skade, potentially. Winter tries to go for a couple pot shots. That AK hasn't been put to good use. Smiley through the leg of a teammate. Does manage to catch a bullet, but he's still alive on the server. Oxygen, I think he's moved away at the wrong time, because that's the audio cue being given up. Iceman has the right angle, but he's still not able to connect, and neither does the insurance policy. That's suddenly the round being favored for Skade, even though Dennis Law was taken out of the server.
You say wrong time, I say prime time. Oxygen, how about that? You thought he was looking at the wrong direction, right? You thought he was going to throw out a flash, but just in that nick of time, turned his attention towards that corner, and had his crosshair exactly where it was supposed to be. Skade, all of a sudden, are the team in the driving seat. They're the ones controlling the pace, and 100 ping odds. They're looking to find an advantage here. They may be able to do so. Look where Sorrow is hiding out. Little by little, they'll be covering corner by corner. Rainmaker checking this angle out. He'll be there and waiting. Does Sorrow check this? Is the timing going to be there for him? Sorrow delivers. Do they expect the second player? Yes, it's Rainmaker all by himself. 25 seconds remaining, and it's all up to Smiley. Knowing that he hasn't found that kill, knowing that there's no space for him to get the bomb down, he's going to back away. But that's going to be the round going to the Bulgarian side.
Yeah, easy does it, but Smiley, even though he took a bullet through the body of a teammate, was only left with 15 points of health. He still gets away with an op. That's something to hold on to. That's something that makes things a lot easier.
And how the tables have turned. Now it's Skade that is favored. I think Pinnacle are listening to you, Alderi. I think, and I think you're right as well. Skade, although they lost a few rounds here and there, they were still the ones controlling the tempo. Water bottle cam! Brought to you by Skade. But you can see they're focused. Like, they're in this game completely, 100%. They don't want to give away on any advantage they have so far. And with Ship's positioning here, it's a brutal angle to hold if it gets caught off guard. Peeking through here, Ships will aggress, finding the first shot, does deliver with the second damage. Iceman does take him out eventually, but it's still a 4v4. Bro, what a shot onto Dennis Law. Maybe the tide of this round has turned around. AWP now into his hands. Rainwaker walking into the angle, just as Bro anticipated. Oxygen switching things up. I'm not quite sure if Iceman spotted it. Well, he didn't. Oxygen moves up in front of him and connects with that shot. Bro, onto the site. He now has an AWP and he knows it. But that could be space given away for Duplicate to recollect towards this A site. It's a gamble they need to take, knowing that they're at this numbers deficit. Bro holds down his angle in oxygen, has to fall. How does 100 Pingons approach this? They're going towards this A site, and I think that's a good read. There's nothing Duplicate can do about it either.
So back and forth once again. At this point, it's... what can even be done off of this? There's no team right now on the server that can consistently pick up rounds, and most of these performances are just coming off of the individuals going crazy. Bro, he's been putting up a stellar performance on Ancient, on Ancient, and on Inferno. Dust2 was a bit of a shaky start, but it's whatever. On the other hand, we also have Ship stepping up for the CT side, so these random signs of brilliance are what are ending up getting them these scraps of rounds.
I love how he was looking at the explosion in a sense of awe.
Do you not get awestruck every time you look at an explosion in CS:GO? If you don't, I think you need to.
Because cool kids look at cool kids don't look at explosions.
Yeah,
yes,
but
sorry. Carry on.
But the even cooler kids, they do look at explosions and they fry their eyes in the process because they don't care about them. We've got sonar.
All right, 100 ping gods now. Are they cool kids? I think they are. They'll be even cooler if they manage to surpass Skade's scoreline. 11-11. It's the name of the game. Skade has had the upper hand throughout most of it.
Relatively slow pace of gameplay. 100 PG heading up banana, and they do have a fair bit of utility, but this time around I actually think they're going to commit on the first try because they don't have anybody on the lurk, and Skade, they are not ready for rotations at all. They're all on the short side. That is the longest possible rotational time that they can have, and 100 PG, they're moving right in.
Flash coming through as well. Duplicate will look to peek out. Headshot does connect on the first. Spray down onto the second. The flesh was on point there from Ships. Lovely stuff, but no. Winter and Sorrow are able to bounce back. Looking back around though, Smiley holding down the backline. Bomb to go down, but Skade is under pressure. Dennisthal delivers. That's going to be a weight off their shoulders. HG grenade again. Little by little, they're being damaged here, but Dennisthal will look to peek out from the smoke. Will it be timed correctly? It all comes down to this timing. Flash to be drawn, HE grenade as well. Molly to be thrown out. Oxygen will try and find one shot. They know exactly where Smiley's hiding out, and he's exactly the person you want in these clutch situations because he's able to deliver time after time.
22-8. He's an absolute madman. He has way fewer deaths than the amount of rounds they've ended up losing. I'm not sure what kind of response Skade can even come up with. Smiley, he's saving them in so many instances. And you can see that in the replay. He knows how to bob in and out of battle. Back at it again, 100 PG. They slowly want to take control of middle, but they've sent Smiley up very aggressively to make sure nobody can push forward. Skade with not much money to work with. They're just banking on these deagles to work out in their favor. Ships is once again on his Mag 7 shenanigans. Can it be upgraded to the swag, as you say? We're just about to find out, but I think he'll need some supportive utility, which the CTs do not have.
Ooh,
barely fighting ahead of Winter.
And Dennisthal does deliver as well. Winter, okay, Skade actually holding the line. They nearly lined up for Smiley in a second there, and he has to back away before he gets killed off. Smoke will block their entry, so Skade has space to breathe. They'll even move up from Banana, so they've got the information that they require. Rainwaker, he knows exactly what he has to do, and he backdrops towards the stairs angle. Peeking through, Dennisthal is able to grab an AK-47 for his health and cause commotion. 100p gods, they're panicking. The map is closing in on them, and now Sorrow needs to find himself a way to get out, and I don't think he'll be able to do so. players all around him, and Duplicate gets the better of him, chimes in bullets through his back, and it will be Skade to find the equalizer.
How have they done this off of just pistols and a Mag 7? 100 PG, now they're feeling the pressure for sure. This was a round that they should have comfortably gotten. Just put it in your back pocket and run off, but look at how little money they've been able to get. Smiley, of course, with his limited deaths, does mean that he can pick up some better weaponry than the rest of his teammates, and they still do have a fair bit of investment into utility, but I'm not sure if this force buy is the best of ideas. Moving into apartments in second mid. They want to play off of these close-range duels. That's the thing that Tech-9s are best at clearing, and with the smoke on arches, now they can move right into short.
That's exactly what they can do, but damage inflicted from the nades onto Winter and Smiley, but Bro will take a few bullets to the legs. Oxygen. Oh, no. Lobs in the nade. Ooh. It will be the finishing blow as well. Denislaw holding down his ground. He's not going to allow 100 Pingots to push through this anytime soon. Bro as well with the deagle. 2 shots? Are you kidding me? Okay, he does damage at least to the economy of Skade, but Rainmaker will not be, well, bothered at all, really. Winter. He's got a tough task to deal with this, and I think Skade, they bounce back. They're the ones now in the lead, and it's 100 Pingots and a massive economical deficit.
Yeah, this is for sure favoring Skade now, because that previous force buy, that's put 100 PG in a much worse situation. It's been a very back and forth game, no doubt about it, and Smiley has put up the numbers greatly, but there's a bit more of a team effort from Skade now. The fact that they're able to turn around round after round, just a testament to some of the prowess that they had to get them to that top 20 mark to begin with. May have dropped off a little bit, but they should be able to bounce right back. 100 PG have the A site set as their destination as they move up brackets. All 4 players committed. Smoke's being lined up, and all they've got are measly hand cannons to work with, but they can take a few heads off their shoulders, but there's a pretty big lack of consistency if you want to execute something of that sort. And Skade, they've got the right read. They have the appropriate setup to deal with something like this because they have 1 player pushed up in Banana and 3 simply watching the pushes.
Oxygen does spot them out there, and Denislaw will be given the cue to look in that direction. Bro as well. With that deagle, he's insane, but I don't think he'll be good enough. He has to fall to the hands of that AWP, and Iceman does deliver. Spots out another player, looks in the right direction, but Ships goes for a short swing and does deliver. They do lose 3 players in the process, fairly expensive, but they still have plenty of weapons to buy up.
Yeah, expenses aren't really their biggest concern at the moment when they're teetering on the edge of the finish line. Although they do still have to put up 2 rounds on the board. Problem is that the T side cannot afford to lose anything now. 1 round lost, and you know for sure that the second one will be given up as well. Smiley, I know you've done so much, but now you're feeling the pressure. Popping on over with the AWP, he's got in the lineup, and as soon as I mention it's Smiley. He's added 2 to the tally with 1 bullet.
Are you whispering in his ears? Because I think he enjoyed it. He gets 2 kills in the process. A surge of confidence has been withdrawn from him. Oxygen is taken down very low. Only he's got smoke to work around with. Can only make that fog his helper. As 100 Pingots slowly will make their way to the A side. The bomb will get planted. We'll peek through. Damage onto 1, looking for the second shot. But it's Bro to find the headshot. I think 100 Pingots, yeah, they'll be closing up the gap here. 14 to 13 to be after this bomb explosion. It's impressive that these 2 teams can be so neck and neck throughout this entire series.
They still have to deal with another buy, though, because Duplicate and Ships, they're above that $3,500 mark, and Denislaw having some money of his own, he can drop a weapon. 2 drops from Duplicate and Ships with their own weaponry, and Denislaw buying up his own. That's a full buy right there. Yeah, how about we look at the odds real quick. Skade, they are still favored to win the series, but now I'm starting to doubt it. I mean, it's really hard to set the odds, right? Because what can you even predict off of a situation like this?
Going to be a difficult endeavor for sure. But the double big guns have been brought out from the Bulgarian side. We've seen them work onto Dust too. Even when it came down to the T side. Can these two big guns of green bring them across the finish line? Ships will definitely think so. Shot coming underway, and Smiley, without finding that initial collateral, without finding that initial kill, does make their matters a lot worse. Smiley to lure him out of that angle. Does give space for Denislaw to find himself a shot as well. 3 versus 4. Peeks again. Denislaw with a second one. Smoke to give him space to move out as well. Lovely stuff. And now they've got the information available. Oxygen hasn't been challenged just yet. Will peek through. Headshot connects. Looking for the second one. It's easy pickings for him. And Skade are now on map and series points.
A few wads of cash are still available in the hands of 100 PG, so it's not like they're out of it just yet. A couple rounds and we would be seeing overtime, but... oh, man. I like that. 2 very important replays. 2 game-changing moments.
The fact that Skade had the upper hand throughout it when it came to round score, and also economical benefits. It does put them now on a really nice spot. Well, 100 ping gods, they're on the edge. On the edge of a cliff. As they look by, pebbles are falling down, making them scared. Winter does find the first shot, which does give them some confidence to hold their ground. They haven't fallen just yet. They stand high, proud. But this is do or die for them. Skade, I think they know what's going to happen. I think they know what's incoming. And it's still holding down that angle. The man that saved the previous round will have to wait a little bit longer until 100 Pig Gods pull the trigger on this attack.
Oh, but this rotation has been cheated off. Do 100 PG actually backtrack? I don't think that's the case because there's only 45 seconds remaining on the clock. A solitary player and a solitary smoke to potentially hold off this push. Skade, they have read this completely wrong. They have nobody near the site of attack.
They think it's a fake, but no, 100 Pig Gods, they're going to hold their ground. Smoke's coming underway, and this is going to be the push. The rotations are nowhere close to be down. Only Denislaw has started to move across, so is Rainwaker, but it's going to be too late. Duplicate doesn't show his card. Smiley's holding down that angle. They've got 2 AWPs holding down the site, different positions, but he's able to find a kill nonetheless without being spotted. Waits for them to peek through. Winter puts his bullet right through his body, but Denislaw will get himself up close and personal, looking for the shot. Iceman delivers. Molly will cause death to Bro, but no, survives and gets the bomb down in the process. 2 versus 4, what does Skade do? If a nade finds a finishing blow, this could be it. This could be it for them to close things out. Bro doesn't fall. He's still alive. And Skade, they're going to back away from this. 100 Big Gods, they're still in this game.
The round loss bonus allows them to buy up again, but 100 PG, they have a significantly better buy now. Skade, that one read, that one gamble, ends up bringing them on the brink of overtime. And I mean, if there was going to be a game to have in overtime, this is it, right?
Oh,
100 PG, they've looked so convincing. 2 games back and forth, the first 2 maps, they've been 16-12 on each other's map picks, so overtime seems quite fitting.
Skade, though, within the brink of closing out this game. 100 Pink Gods are challenging. Yeah, every time 100 Pink Gods has faced their opponents into a full spy, they've come out ahead. Will that be the case for yet another time? Smoke out, Winter, finding that alternative angle to work with. But Skade, they're not taking any chances towards the B site. Look at the man dedication towards it. Both of them very deep in this banana area. Even if they don't spot anyone, they'll take it for information.
Watch out for this, Pavlos.
Oh, duplicate. There for it, but no. Takes some damage onto his leg and falls back from it. Spray down through the smoke. But I think it's a stalemate for now. They're going to back out and maybe take this fight to the later date. There's a 1 minute and 10 seconds remaining on the clock. And it looks like 100 Pink Gods have changed the decision on where they want to take.
Yeah, this is such an important round for either team. They want to stop overtime on the Skade side. 100 PG, this is their last gambit. Molotov on short. Oxygen is in a very unorthodox position, playing off of the off angle, but now it's been given up. Molotov comes through. That'll delay the push on short, but 100 PG, they want an alternative approach to this. Too many rotations have been called in, and now Skade, they've got the ideal chance.
And Rainmaker doesn't get spotted. He's able to grab out 1 kill into the process. He pushes out again. That's just going to be the double up for him. Denislaw hasn't been challenged yet. He's still within the depths of the 100 Pink Gods backline. Winter finds that 1 kill, finds a second one, but it's not going to be enough. Shot down. Skade. They got challenged this game, and you can see it in their faces. They didn't expect it to be so close, but they eventually closed things out. They can now breathe in a sigh of fresh air as they do take in that victory. The first victory here in the Swiss stage of Pinnacle.
Oh, what a game and a half.
It's been a close one throughout it, hasn't it, Wildairy? I didn't really expect it to be that close. I don't think well, we did expect it to be close Endeavor, but we didn't think it'd be down to the line just like that final map closed out to be. And it didn't disappoint. I loved every single part of it. But if you could have called a highlight throughout the series, Wildairy, what do you think would it be?
I think it's got to be Denislaw's 1v4, right? That was outstanding, the way he was able to pull it off. It's a situation that could have potentially changed the outcome of the game. If he hadn't gotten that, we would be seeing a different scoreline, for sure.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, do not go anywhere, though. We'll be back very shortly. DBL Pony versus Lingby Vikings to be played right after the break. So make sure you do not go anywhere, because we will be right back.